Damn it.
So, when last we saw our heroes, the Trollskull 6 had successfully ascended to the upper level of Isgaren's tower. There you were confronted by an irate Mr. Grey, who transformed into his werewolf form as he released three vampire spawn children, as it were, of the wizard Isgaren. After making short work of Mr. Grey, the lesser vampires, and a flame elemental that came to join the fight, you succeeded in luring the vampire Isgaren from his crypt. You did battle in the midst of a thick fog as he disappeared and reappeared all over the room, triggering defenses built into his tower home. But eventually you were victorious. We now find ourselves, I believe everyone's on the upper level of the tower. Galatar, standing near the sarcophagus after the explosion, saw clothing and bits of oddments laying about, but most of the body itself exploded or disintegrated by the grenade that had been placed inside the tomb. But for an arm from just after the elbow down that seemed to lay unscathed, though it was desiccated. Galatar had wrapped that up and then I believe ran downstairs to lay hands on the navigation orb to see what the status of the tower was. I find that the tower itself appears to be motionless and stable. You do hear now the increasingly loud sound of thunder as a seaward storm rolls its way around the tower and over Garenhof. The rest of you stand on this upper floor. Everything now silent and still. The table is yours.
I'd like to sift through like the rubble and bits to loot Isgaren. See if there's anything else there.
Kala starts to pick among the remains. What are the rest of you doing?
Great question.
Certainly not going back to the sex room.
So if the name of this town is Garenhof, and this guy was Isgaren, do we call this was Garenhof?
Oh, nice.
Oh gosh.
Make sure you leave allowance for his son, Wilbigaren.
Okay. Well, I just took
Alexa,
damage.
if that man hadn't been, so terrible, I'd say it might be a little too soon to make such jokes, but, good one.
Is everyone looking okay?
I am not the best, but I'm okay.
Right.
We're all a little beat up.
As long as nobody's on death's door,
Could we check in with
The Burgermeister.
Well,
We did.
yeah, but also
you did
with
send a message of sending to the Burgomaster.
with Kolinar and Franz and
Yeah. Has it been an hour?
At this point, yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're no longer charmed then, so they might be feeling.
On the
they might
door's
be feeling-
closed. The demi-plane's gone.
Yeah. How do we get them out of there, Alexa?
Kolinar might have brought him back in. We should at least go check.
Sure.
Or they're hanging out in Lion's Arch.
Yeah. Also possible.
On the floor that we're on, the two rooms that are darkened, we haven't gone into those because the one we... Oh no, I'm still on the sarcophagus floor. Are we all on the sarcophagus? Or we're on the sarcophagus floor, so we haven't been...
Galatar is at the next floor down with the navigation orb.
Okay. Can I go try
Galatar
to...
ran in one of the rooms.
Yeah, I was gonna try to go and check out the top right room, I guess. But I bet it's locked.
Yeah.
So,
Let it. The game is paused. Let us off the
Yes.
let us off the leash there,
So,
DM.
well, I'm trying to get you to tell me what you're doing in this moment. So Kala is rummaging through the remains of the tomb and Isgaren. Kitri wants to explore some of the rooms,
Yes.
and the rest of you are.
I'm gonna take a peek at this here statue. I know it had like done some stuff. I can't. Was it fire?
There's
Did
a
it read
cone
fire?
of flame.
Cone of flame. Yeah, we might see if we can see if it's removable. I don't know.
Rena's
Okay.
pondering the irony of telling two young people that they had been charmed by a wizard and then saying, "Quick, go with this wizard. We're charming you."
Well, they didn't know they were charmed, you know.
somewhere else. You've just been kidnapped by a different wizard. No, I'm gonna follow Kitri. Help Snoop.
Okay. And
We
Alexa.
might have to break down the door.
I'll go look for Kolinar to double check and make sure that the demi-plane's closed.
Okay, that is going to take some time because you've got to go all the way down the tower and back into the mansion.
And it's going to take even longer because I'll go half speed because I'm not in a hurry.
Okay. Just slide Galtar to the stairs. So
Basically so I can eat and everyone else can do stuff.
all right. So let me delete him. Kala's over here. Rena's over here. Up here. Whoop. Put her outside the tower.
Jesus, Ryan,
Oh, yeah.
you gotta tell us before there's a ritual sacrifice.
So, Birdie, go ahead and make an investigation check. As you are studying this large statue closely, Rena and
14.
Kitri, you guys, so you guys get a view inside this room that had been opened, and what had once been obscured by the thick fog now lies bare before you. What you see is very simply a bloody sacrificial altar on the south wall. And in the center of the floor, in front of it, a massive pool of what looks like dried or half congealed blood, and an oddly clean area that forms an arcane ritual circle. On either side of the altar are short metallic pillars, each clutching large faceted gems. The whole room being brightly lit by torches, the same torches you've seen throughout this tower.
Never like a normal room, like a cool, like this is where Isgaren sleeps.
I think his bedroom was honestly probably that coffin, which I can't imagine was comfy.
Oh my God.
I guess I'm just worried the fact that some of this blood is looks still a little runny.
That's
like-
super gross.
Are there more missing people or bodies to worry about?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna wait for Galatar or someone smarter than me to look at the sigil.
I don't want to touch any of it, so I'm just gonna leave and close the door.
Well, I'm gonna follow your lead. Gross. Clean that up.
Just shuts the door like bye.
Okay. Kala, as you're sifting through the remains, there's just nothing of flesh left. It's all just kind of been disintegrated, just clumps of ash. You find a couple of rings. One gold, one silver. They have a variety of colored stones with like small, like emeralds and a cluster of opals on one. There's a third ring that has two kind of curling horn-like protrusions coming from it. The exquisitely tailored clothing that he had been wearing, his blue surcoat, the vest, the crisp white shirt, breeches, have all just been half incinerated and ripped to shreds, and there's fragments of them lying all around. But his black cloak with the red satin lining is in pristine condition.
My.
And Birdie, as you're looking over this statue, the only thing odd that stands out to you is that the orb that it holds in its hands seems to be, while still attached, a separate material. It's not stone.
Yeah. So on that note, make sure I don't have anything specific for this purpose. I can't imagine I do. No, I'm going to have to help through this one. So, would it be possible, like, if I can gauge this, can I see, is there like, there's separate materials, right?
Yeah, it looks vaguely crystalline in nature.
Would I be able to, I mean, well, shit, first of all, I'll give it I'll just kind of stand to the side and see if I can like push it up. Like, does it detach, or is it like is it connected?
No, the statue's hands enclose it in such a way that it seems like
easy.
it is firmly ensconced in there.
Easy. Okay. I'll take out my marvelous pigments and I'll just start doing little like perfect like precision lines in the fingers to like where the hands are like ensconcing it. The fingers start to like kind of, I can pick them up, throw them off as I try to like open up the hands to lift this orb out. I'll use some pigment for that if I can.
Okay. Brina and Kitri, as you guys back out of this room, you see Birdie puzzling over this statue, and suddenly he starts into motion as though inspiration has struck, and you watch as he pulls out the marvelous pigments.
Try and cut these fingers off so I can, or like cut an opening to the orb.
Can we tell that he's going after like a giant gem-looking thing?
Is it like
Yeah,
bowling ball sized or like smaller, like grapefruit?
No, it's like bowling ball sized.
Perfect.
Always going
Yeah.
after something shiny.
Yeah, you can definitely see he's now like painting around the hands, around the fingers that clutch this orb.
Honestly, I'm surprised he's not trying to make the statue look like himself.
Oh, there's still time. Don't rule it out.
Don't give him ideas.
Is the other door behind Brina and I, so like across the way, is that...
To the north, it is closed and locked.
Alright, that tracks.
I'm not good at picking locks, and Kala's busy digging through wizard pots. Do you want to try knocking this thing down? Maybe? I don't know, maybe it's magical?
Oh, garlic Kitri. I mean, I'm willing to hit anything, but I do not think that I will be of much use here. I mean, I can...
About this time, Alexa passes Galatar.
She's just vibing.
I'm just taking in the area. Slow.
Galatar, with his sense of the tower being accomplished, if there's anything he would like to be doing.
Blushatar.
Yeah, if I'm done, if I'm done with the, I guess examining that, I want to go back up to the top room and explore that bottom right room that I've been in before that I didn't really get a chance to look at.
Sure.
Just to see whatever was in there.
Yeah. So over here, you back up in here. Yeah, we'll say at this point, as Birdie is beginning to paint on the statue, and Brina and Kitri are starting to look at this top door. Kala, about this time you finished cataloging the handful of rings that still survived. Galatar, you make your way up the stairs and see all of this happening.
Perfect.
Go try to unlock that door if I can.
Point out the ritual sacrifice circle to Avatar in case he wants to learn a new spell.
Oh, there's a virtual circle?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that I want to see.
Oh, be fun.
As you make your way over, the door slides open. It creaks a little bit on the hinges, but you see much the same scene in the room below. This big spatter of blood and gore on the floor. There is a ritual circle, and it's odd because it is carved into the stone, but it's also immaculate where the circle is. Like the lines of the circle have no blood on them. It's almost like the magic is keeping the blood away.
Scary. Okay. Looking at this ritual circle, do any of the, I guess, runes or symbols look familiar at all? Like, is there a way to determine if it seems to be based on a certain branch of magic or?
Yes, make an Arcana check.
Okay.
And Kala, if you want to try to pick that lock, you can go ahead and roll your Thieves' Tools.
16 plus 15, 31.
31. You do recognize many of these symbols. They are commonly used in abjuration. But it's odd because they are mixed in with symbols from the conjuration school. You've seen binding circles before in your research, usually for conjuring elementals or extraplanar entities and binding them, which certainly makes sense given what Isgaren is noted for.
Mm-hmm.
But the way these are intermixed at first doesn't make any sense. But with a 31, beating the impossible, you are able to deduce that the patterns in which these symbols are laid out form symbols of their own, which are necromancy symbols.
Okay.
And with a 31, I would say that you are able, through this revelation, looking at this setup, to deduce that humanoid creatures were here sacrificed, and their souls trapped and bound in elemental form.
Oh, shit. Did not
What
see that
the
one coming.
Fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
You sip your fucking drink. Nope.
Yeah, didn't see. No, did not think that's what the fucking elementals were.
Oh, these cool guys who just wait on
That
our
explains a
hand.
lot.
Porky Town.
How does he take these people's like personalities away? Are they trying to just be like, help me? And everybody's like, oh yeah, you're doing great.
The
Well-
longer you look at these symbols, the more you realize this is next level magic. This is magical innovation like you've never seen before.
Can I ask, because I know now at this point, we've seen, especially in Ore, some like ancient magic, stuff like that. And given how, I guess, old Isgaren is, that I know like he was at least there for the Kraden Civil War, does this look to be in line with some of maybe the more ancient ways of like doing magic or more ancient writing? Is there any way to kind of
Make a
tell
history
that?
check.
History. 24.
24. All right. Let me check something real quick.
A low roll for you.
I mean, there's only one thing I truly excel at. It's Arcana. Everything else is like, eh.
So Kitri and Brina, as you guys are sitting at this door and Kala offers to try to help, you watch as she struggles with this lock. What?
I'd like to use saving face
Okay.
if I feel like this is difficult.
You know from experience the doors in this tower are
Mm.
enchanted and tricky, and this one does not seem to be giving you
That'll be a
any
30.
cooperation. 30.
Yeah.
Okay. You watch as Kala, oddly enough for such a furred creature, starts to sweat. You can see like there is clear effort going in here, and you like hear grunts of frustration as she's working. And from behind you, you hear Galatar kind of mumbling to himself, and I imagine uh, occasionally the sort of gasp of surprise as these deductions are made.
Yeah, a mix of horror and excitement for sure.
Yeah. Uh, you said a 24 history check?
Yeah.
With a 24, I would say that you get the sense that these are not ancient. The most ancient magics are strange and alien, and you've encountered some of them. But this is less alien. This is more of an innovative application of familiar magic.
It's
It's
Zuckerberg
magic you
necromancy.
understand, applied in novel ways.
He's the Steve
Also,
Jobs of magic.
can I ask, because I don't remember if we'd ever asked this before, but were there ever stories of like there being a wizard who summoned and utilized like elementals in the way Isgaren did here when the wizard tower was like in Kryta?
With a 24, I would say relating to the wizard tower and summoning elementals specifically, like none that stand out any more than the others.
Okay.
The conjuring of sentient elementals is pretty potent magic. It's something not a lot of mages can do.
Mhm.
It is something of a specialty of the people of Elona, far to the southeast across the Crystal Desert.
Mhm.
Um, but that the nation of Elona colonized Kryta a long time ago, so it's not unusual to
Oh,
find
okay.
the vestiges of those practices even in modern day. It's just very rare that someone gets enough power that they can do so with any sort of regularity.
Gotcha. Okay.
And as Brina and Kitri watch Kala sweat through this, you finally hear that satisfying click as the door is unlocked.
Earl.
I assume you push it open slowly. As Kala just ever so slightly starts to crack that door, those three of you standing there just sort of slice that visual pie, and you see a bookshelf packed one into the other with books. Open a little more, and there's another bookshelf further in on the opposite wall. And then revealed, standing in the center of the space, is a long table with a single red velvet cushioned chair, just littered with parchment, scrolls, uh, ink, quills, old leather books, and then more bookshelves around the other corners.
Ugh.
Well, if Galatar liked that other room, he's really gonna love this one.
At least the other one had a little bit of excitement to it. No offense, books. Oh.
Guess we could go see what he was reading. Can I guess, walk in and just, not really by touching, but just like look at the things that are open out on the table?
Immediately obvious to you on the table are some maps of the nearby region. One of them looks apparently to have been like hand drawn. Um, there's no cartographer's mark or emblem, so it stands to reason it may have been something that Isgaren himself was working on. It's a fairly detailed map, although in an odd way, it doesn't really detail the city. The town of Isgaren or of Garenhof is just like a blob on the tip of the fjord, but the hills surrounding are done in painstaking detail. You see like the marks of like game trails, some red X's, and even some notations for like bandits or roving creatures that he had possibly discovered or heard tell of, cave systems, and it's a fairly elaborate map for about everything within like a day and a half's ride.
Hmm.
Can I look around the library to see if there's anything he's hiding? like a hidden compartment or like a book behind the bookshelf or something that he would really not want people to find.
Yeah. Make a perception check. 24. You do find that there is one particular book that just sits at an odd angle, and the book itself is a little larger and a little more symmetrical. It still has the appearance of being worn, but it seems like it's more square than the others, oddly enough. It's not something most people would have noticed, but as you go up and kind of foots with it, you realize it is a fake book. And as you pull it out, there is a hidden, very small alcove in the stone behind the shelf.
Something in there?
It has like a little wooden door. It's maybe about a foot high and 6-7 inches wide, and there's just like a little like a C-shaped handle, like on a coffee mug, just like a little pull handle.
I will check to see if it's trapped before opening it.
Make an investigation check. 21. You do see, as you kind of run your claw around the edge, you catch what feels to be a sort of tripwire just around the upper portion. There's like a slight gap between that and the stone. But with your inability to roll below a 25 with Thieves' Tools, you are able to pay sufficient attention and disarm that now that you have spotted it.
All right, I'll open this little door then.
Kitri, as you're looking over the table, on the shelves and stuff, like nothing is lying open. Other than the map, there are a couple of books, one of them lying open, kind of left on an open page with a bit of ribbon draped across it. What looks like collections of stories from Ilona. They have a very colorful, almost like an illuminated medieval manuscript. Lots of big, colorful designs in the margins and the big, colorful letters at the beginning of chapters. The story that it's lying open to is the story of a djinn, a fire spirit, specifically called out in this tale as an Efreeti prince from the hidden city of Adashim, which appears to be a sort of mythical city from Ilona's past. And Kala, as you open that hidden compartment, you find a fairly thick, leather-bound book. It's not really a tome. It's a little small for that, but it's just packed. It's probably 4 inches thick, kind of loosely bound. As you pull it out, some of the pages kind of shift, and you gather if you don't hold it tight, it may just fall apart. But as you pull it out, you notice it's just sort of tied loosely with a leather cord around a little grommet. And as you peek in, it appears to all be handwritten notes.
In common, or does it look like some other language?
As you take a minute, looking back towards the beginning, it is in a language you do not recognize. Kind of flipping through a little bit, that changes, and it changes into something that looks like Crichton, but it's a little weird. It doesn't look quite right, and then eventually it starts to look more like the Crichton that you know and understand. At this point, I would say, Bertie, you are able to finish your paints, and the fingers. Were you breaking the fingers off?
So as I understood, the fingers are like, or the hands are like encasing this orb.
Yeah.
And I would like to cut the fingers, the hands, chip away that stone with my magical paints in such a way that one might be able to remove the orb.
Yeah. So at this point, you've basically got like a hand with like just the palms at the bottom and no fingers,
Yes.
and you are able to lift this incredibly heavy piece of what looks like kind of like tiger orange crystal. It's not transparent. It is foggy and it's kind of like looking at a piece of amethyst, but it's a dull orange.
Once
Perfect.
they opened the
Perfect.
library doors and Brina saw it was a library, she probably would have went and joined Birdie. So
Yeah, I got it. Brina, help me out. It's heavy. It's heavy.
Okay, she spots him.
Yeah, it weighs like 25 pounds. It's
Plenty.
pretty heavy.
Breaking his arms.
Fantastic. All right. We have it. We have this thing. Isn't that cool?
Bowling ball. A queer bowling ball.
Yeah. We're gonna take this puppy home. That's what I'm telling you right now. Yeah.
What is it supposed to be?
I mean, we saw it do fire stuff, so I'm assuming fire stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
It's enough for me.
Yeah, I've got an idea for this puppy. Fire crystal ball. What is the what would we call like a fire crystal or
You don't
Like a
really know
fire
what to
crystal
call
ball or
it.
like
Just
a
a giant orange crystal.
Okay, I'm gonna add it as we'll add a custom item here.
Isgaren is fireball?
Yeah.
Question mark.
At this point, Alexa, you pass through the second floor down to the first floor, and you see the statue of the angel is still very much where it was.
Well, I will ask this actually on my way down. I will pop detect magic and see if anything has changed about the area.
The torches all glow with magic. The four doors still enchanted. The statue itself radiates magic. But other than that, no.
Okay. But so is the demi-plane door gone then when I get down there?
Yeah, you pass through the foggy barrier and emerge back into the manor. And as you make your way to the drawing room, yeah, the door itself is vanished.
Or we'll send Colinar a message.
Okay.
We are alive. Isgaren is no more. How are you?
A couple of seconds go by, and you hear, "Ah, excellent. You're alive. I was very worried. Isabel and Mr. Franz here have been telling me very rapidly about the goings-on in this terrible, terrible place that you all have decided to stay. They seem to no longer be controlled." And a couple of seconds go by. "Sorry. Not used to keeping messages concise. Taking them back to Lion's Arch. See you later."
I will reply,
He was a vampire. It was really kind of crazy. Don't know how the town's gonna end up. See you later.
Then I assume you head back up.
yes.
So as Alexa reascends the tower,
Get my cardio for the day.
yeah, Galatar now having had several minutes to investigate the circle. What are you up to?
Well, if he hears Brina, she's leaving comment about the library. Definitely, as soon as he's done with the circle, runs with great glee to a room full of books.
Yeah, as you're
To
walking
see what he
around
can find.
the ritual room, you could see with the door open beyond across into this enormous library.
Yeah, he
15
just
feet high bookshelves.
happily like skipping across the stone floor from one happy thing to another. You know, it's just cool magic everywhere here. Pretty good place to be.
I'll hold out the weird book I found. I found this hidden behind another book, a fake book. was in the wall over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Nice catch. I never would have noticed that. That's awesome. Do you mind if I take a look at it?
Yeah, I can't read most of it, so yeah.
Huh, interesting. When I open it, I know you said Kala couldn't read the first language. Am I able to read that first language?
What languages did we decide you speak?
Oy, okay, so the languages I speak:
spoke
Celestial, Common,
Zemnian, which is
Draconic, Dwarvish,
Ascalonian.
Orient, and Zimnian, which is Ascalonian. Yeah.
Okay, so you do speak Orient.
Yeah.
Okay. You see that this, with a quick perusal, this appears to be the personal journal of the wizard Isgaren, or to be proper, the wizard Garen. The earliest dates are about 400 years or so ago, give or take, which, thinking historically, was before the fall of Or.
Damn.
Sorry, it froze there for a second. Could you re-say that?
The earliest dates were about 400 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
which historically speaking predate the fall of the Orient continent.
Oh, and it's written in Orient.
The earliest parts are, yeah.
Okay.
It's like somebody's book that like started in Old English and then moved to like
Mhm.
Middle English, and I picked up
Quite
on that. I was
literally.
like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
I think it's like it started in Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
That's pretty cool.
Kala, did you
Okay.
grab the cloak from the like sarcophagus area?
Oh yeah, I took all that stuff.
Okay. I just want
Whatever
to make
was
sure
there.
somebody had everything. Okay.
I was gonna ask, in that journal, does it seem like what was his name? The crazy tree guy that we killed, that was a Sylvari that turned evil or whatever. He had like he had like a journal where his writings got like increasingly crazy. Does this journal like look as though it starts out where he's kind of talking about like normal stuff, and then by the end of it, he's like, oh, I just casually murdered 6 people today, and
So you gather that understanding the contents of this journal in any sort of specific way would take hours of reading through it. Specifically, for each hour you spend reading it, I can reveal a different thing that you learn.
Oh, I love that mechanic. I'm like, I
I
will
also love this mechanic.
So on a quick perusal, I will say that the handwriting does not become chaotic and messy.
Okay.
It's all the same very measured hand. If a little, like there's an evolution of the handwriting because the language kind of changes, but it does not seem to become erratic.
Okay, so he still seemed like he's probably pretty in control of him. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Dude, this is so cool. I'm never playing a low intelligence character ever again. This is so fun. I love finding out things.
It's a blessing. I don't even want to.
Yes.
Listen,
So
this
anyway-
is called a DM tool so that I don't have to bore you with like a 20-minute lore dump.
Birdie and Brina
That'd
are
be
just standing out in the center room, and Birdie's like, "Fire, go!"
And it's like, I will give you 5 gold if I throw it. You can catch it.
Hey, well, I don't think I could lift it up again. I'll try and like rub the side of it. Nothing.
Yeah, makes a little squeaky sound.
Fuck.
Do you have any spells? Like you do a spell on it and it does it?
No.
Okay. That was the only idea
Oh,
I had.
no, I thought I might, but
I think you probably broke it.
I don't think I broke it, Kala. I'd feel like I know if I broke it.
Usually with a trap, if you remove part of it, it doesn't work.
He
Look at,
liberated
I
it.
used my special paints and I carefully removed this big orb. There's not a scratch on it.
Just wait till Alexa comes back up. She could look at it for you.
And it wasn't, do you remember what, did he say something or like, do something to activate this? Do we
All I
recall?
remember was getting hit by fire.
Right, right.
It kind of happened.
Yeah.
Also, I
I
couldn't
don't,
see
I don't
anything.
think you did anything.
Yeah,
I
and
wonder
I mean, we
if,
couldn't see shit, so I mean, he could have been pressing a button, but I had no idea.
I'll work on it.
But Alexa can tell you if the enchantment remains just by looking at it.
Is Alexa back up here? Where'd she scamper off to?
She's gonna be a minute.
She
Oh,
does
fuck
scamper.
me.
That's
Yeah, she was walking very slowly when she walked by me, kind of like just really
Well,
taking her
I
time.
had an odd question too. Is the fog door still there?
After you have a brief exchange with Kolinar, if you turn around and go right back into the hallway, it is still there.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got a little nervous there. I got a little nervous. Thinking about the door might be closed and how do I get back? So I'll dart in the door real quick before it closes. Knowing that I don't know when it's going to.
And as you cross the first floor towards the stairs, you see it sort of decoalesce behind you. Like the door structure in the tower is still there, but the fog is gone. And yeah, so she starts making her way back up. What are those of you on the 4th floor doing now?
I would like to check out the first room we walked through up here. Just look at the stuff on the table in the liquor cabinet.
It seems fairly nice. You know, it's nice woods and plush materials. Liquor cabinet seems pretty well stocked. Variety of exotic alcohols.
I grab a couple things that look really expensive.
You notice there are 2 bottles that have really strange looking labels. You think it might be writing, but it's not writing you've ever seen before. It looks very, very exotic and different. And there is also, I mean, there are many bottles, but aside from those 2, there is what appears to be a beautifully carved crystal bottle with a crystal stopper, just coated in dust, with a dark brown spirit in it. And it too has in the crystal sort of carved runes, but you recognize these because you've seen this writing elsewhere. I don't believe you read it, but you saw it beneath Lion's Arch. These are dwarven runes.
Okay. Is that on? They're all dwarven, or just the crystal one is dwarven?
Just the crystal one.
Okay. I will put one of the bottles with the weird label in the bag of holding and hold on to the other one.
Okay.
To like show everyone else and see if anybody else can read it.
I already put Birdie's reply in the chat, or in the Foundry chat.
Ah.
Whenever Kala shows him the bottle, that's.
Boo! Boo! Tomato, tomato, tomato.
Can anybody read this? It's weird liquor.
As
Can
Kala
taste it.
shows it around, I don't believe any of you read this language, but Galatar and Bertie, you recognize it as being written in Canthan. It's basically written in Chinese.
Oh,
I don't speak that one.
Oh yeah, I've gotten some silks from that have a label that's similar to that.
Isn't that where your paper came from as well for the business?
Also, where
cards?
my kit paper came from. Absolutely, yeah. So cool.
Yeah, that's got to be
Yeah.
extremely expensive.
it's
I
gotta
mean,
be
stuff
good
in
stuff.
Tampa is not
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
Are you holding the crystal bottle too, or did you already put that one away?
How is the stopper in there?
It's just sitting in there.
It's not in the bag of holding then, because I feel like I wouldn't put it in there because it would. So yeah, I'm holding the crystal.
sloshes around.
And is the
Yeah.
dwarven rune like evident on the crystal, or is it kind of like you wouldn't?
Yeah, it's kind of like
immediately
carved
notice
where
it?
the label would be.
And Are we able to tell anything like from that dwarven room? Like having studied
Do you?
arcane
I
things
say,
together.
do you read?
I
Dwarven?
don't specifically read dwarvish. I don't think so.
Do
Let me
any
double
of
check.
you read Dwarven?
Oh, I do read dwarvish. Never mind.
I read all languages. I have comprehend languages.
What about giant? No.
This is not from the giants, but Galatar, you seeing these runes? If you read Dwarvish, it reads Zirak Fanul, which is silver teardrop.
Oh. It says it's silver teardrop. I
That
don't know.
liquor or poison?
What a wonderful question, to be sure.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
I
It's
will
a
like sniff it.
interesting name.
As you pull the stopper, there is a slight, even though it is crystal, and there's a little bit of resistance. But as you pop that stopper out, there is a very pleasant, almost smoky scent of alcohol. It's like a very fine Scotch whiskey.
Think when Alexa gets back up here, we should try this.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. What
Sure.
the hell?
Vacation.
Yeah, we're on vacation. Anybody got any moon loss or something?
Yeah, I mean,
we can do this
we
right.
could absolutely hang out. It's not like we can really leave easily. I mean, it's gonna take us a while to leave anyway. Might as well spend the night.
I mean, I'm just saying we're
Here-
gonna have like one night up here before they
This-
fucking requisition this place. Like
Requisitioning, can
Yeah,
they?
this place it stinks though. Like the smell is
Yeah, deep
kind of
clean
like a
for sure.
slaughterhouse.
Literally a rich.
The scent of blood is definitely strong up here. And at this point, Alexa, you make your way back up and rejoin your team.
Woo! This tower is tall.
Alexa, we got this big orb. Could you take a look at it and see if it does anything cool, or did we break it? Did Brina break it?
I did.
Brina! I cast
I
detect
know.
magic.
God, that's true.
There is a sort of weak magical aura around it,
But
not,
not
in a
like
specific school.
it's got something, but it doesn't seem like it's like a really potent magic. Maybe it might be residual or something.
Shit, did I break
You
it?
also see a magic aura around the crystal bottle that Kala is
Oh.
holding.
I really want this to be like
And
a never-ending
that
bottle of liquor.
Alcohol bottle or that crystal bottle. That's some
Like-
magic too.
Getting ready to drink it. It's like
Wait,
I mean,
what do you mean weak? Oh, hold on. Yeah, a weak?
like that magic in that bottle, like it was a small bottle, but it's a big aura now that I look at it. But that orb, it's like,
Our
I could miss
orb
it.
is like lame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
does the orb seem to be like fading, or is it staying constant? Or
broken.
It's not broken, Kala.
It's just like a little thrum,
All right.
but a soft thrum.
yeah.
Huh.
All right, Colin, if
Okay.
that bottle's magic, do you want me to identify it to see like what the heck the magic on the bottle itself is?
Or
Yeah,
just drink it.
that's
I mean, I'll
probably a good
try.
Idea.
I don't. It's easier.
Well, I mean,
So
yeah,
the-
for the contents. I just don't know if the magic's the bottle or the contents.
The aura of
Oh,
magic
fair.
around the
I get what you're
bottle
saying.
is. I would say the school is technically necromancy, but you
Typo.
understand in that sense that there's like desiccate your body and drain your life energy necromancy, and there's like preservative life restoring. Necromancy is first and foremost the magic of life force, not always death.
Right, it's a spectrum.
Right.
This has a more positive feel to it.
Okay. It's the good kind of necromancy. The kind you want to try.
That's good
Necromancy
because you should
plus.
see that
Yeah.
ritual circle in there. That is some dark, fucked up necromancy shit.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this guy's been turning people into elementals. Like all those elementals in town, he just bound human souls onto
Oh,
elementals.
Fuck.
Incredibly
What?
cool,
Wow,
complex
what?
stuff, but also horribly inhumane.
They are the old people.
Yeah, I think he probably ate some of them, and then some of them he was like, workers, you know.
I
Wow.
want to
Very-
have Kitri go check out the room that Galatar like teleported her into earlier when she was
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
the door's
blind.
open.
yeah, I'd go in there upon hearing, all of the elementals are people, and I just want to like,
Soylent Green is people.
I mean, just look around of like, this
Wanna
is
look at
where
this room now.
the like vampire spawn came from.
Yeah, there are 3 wooden coffins lying open, and there are 2 sets of rusty iron manacles on the wall. One of them just has like a pair of like wrists and hands, and there's nothing else but like blood smear. And the other one has what looks like it's a torso from like the waist up. It's just like chained there, hanging dead.
Are there any
It's like
Can I
bloody
tell
footprints.
about the age of the person that the torso would have belonged to? Like, is it
Ooh,
an
make a
old
medicine
looking
check.
person?
Whose torso is this?
I feel like we got here like a
Torsolo.
month too early in real time.
Also, I am super proud of that room because there are actual bloody footprints, and there is a single bloody handprint on one of the coffins.
I
Nice.
see it.
Wow, overachiever here.
Oh.
Oh,
I see it.
nuts!
That's crazy.
This really
That's a
sucks.
bummer.
Fine.
Graphic
Wow, that is cool.
So, with a 9, it is hard to tell. This body has been mutilated. It has been gnawed on, and it's been here for long enough that it doesn't really resemble like a living person. I would say you are able to tell it was a male, and it was an adult.
Okay. Yeah. Any other interesting finds? I guess. Are the coffins open?
Yes, they are just sitting open.
So I just want to. I don't want to touch anything. Kitri's like out of her element, but she wants to look.
They
What
are
do I
filled
see?
with dirt.
That's it.
Yeah, with like it smells faintly of earth in here, but also like the stink of decay and dried blood. But they're filled with earth. Recently disturbed. You can see some of it is like spilled out onto the floor.
Shouldn't see like a
He wasn't just like, sacrificing people. He must have been like grave robbing too.
And when Kitri looks in there, she doesn't see like how I guess Isgaren's body was trying to like reform in his coffin thing. Does she see anything similar like that in these coffins?
No, these are empty.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say
Their bodies are still
yeah,
there, right?
sorry,
They
I
didn't.
took
Ah,
everything
okay.
off the map, but yeah, there's like
They're
a
around, yeah.
dead werewolf,
We're just walking through them.
like
It's fine.
like a whole shitload of like dead vampire spawn. Well, I would say the bodies of the vampire spawn are I got a bunch of errors. I just ended the combat. I would say their bodies are just like piles of dust. They've just crumbled in on themselves, and there's just like some tattered cloth left over.
I just
Did
got
Mr.
real worried for a
Gray
second.
revert before he died?
Hmm?
Did Mr. Gray revert before he died? Or am I thinking wrong?
Yes, I would say Mr. Gray is probably in his humanoid form, which I can just flip the token back.
Is there anything to loot there, or is he just like naked?
No, he still has like the remnants. It's sort of like the Incredible Hulk. He like ripped out of his shirt, but the tatters are there, and his breeches are still whole. You see like they actually seem to have been sewn with like slightly expandable places so that they didn't tear off.
Gotta check
I
and
was
see
gonna
if he
say, I
has
do have a
keys
qualm.
to all these
Yeah?
doors.
One thing, and this is unrelated, just because I was like, if you hadn't said anything about expandable breeches, I was like, do people think that pants, like, if it's not yoga pants, right? Do people really think that pants are somehow the thing that if you magically got larger, they would stay like fitting?
No, they
T-shirts are
tear.
more like your t-shirt, I feel like your t-shirt would probably stay. If you got like real big, it'd get tight, but like your pants, those aren't staying on. But this is just the world we live in because of modesty's sake.
PG-13.
Harry's least favorite superhero is the Hulk.
She's just really jealous.
She just gets very upset.
Watchmen must be one of your favorite movies.
But I guess saying that this man has expandable, like expanders in his pants, I wonder how often he was turning like into a
Maybe he
werewolf.
planned ahead. Stretchy pants.
Him being a werewolf, I mean, at least once a month.
You
I
clearly
wanna
watched
know,
that new
but-
Fair
She-Hulk
point, yeah.
If
show.
Isabel sewed these, what would have the conversation have been of like, I need you to sew these
She
elastic?
was charmed.
I guess so, but is that still like? I mean, you still have like your reasoning.
man.
Wouldn't you be like, this is a little weird for this like gangly old man? Okay, that's an aside.
If your trusted friend tells you it's something that needs done,
If I came to Alex and I said I need fancy pants, he wouldn't bat an eye.
So you got him, boss.
He would say a goddamn word.
I just
Send me the blueprints.
I did just realize that now Muriel has to go live back with her family she hates.
Oh, that's not true.
Real-
Maybe just
real
give Muriel the
downgrade.
whole
hates
castle.
him. Jeez.
Maybe she could come and work at the bar.
Oh, Tim
Good
could
idea,
use some
Tim.
help.
Don't do that to Tim. He's
No, Tim could use a friend, and imagine how much better our cooking would be.
We can sell those cinnamon rolls.
Also,
That
you
would
have
be.
a room for
That's
her
messed
there.
up.
Yeah, we do. We'll just kick one of us out. I mean, we use magical accommodations all the time. We'll
What
just.
is money will buy a room, right?
Right. One of our neighbors is probably
We have a
down
big
on their rent.
We
or
have a big
something.
fire orb now. The world is our oyster.
You could buy a giant rubber duck made of money, Brian.
I will say so, Bertie. You had mentioned in here like on the table there was like a book of stories of like from like Alona or something.
Yeah. Effectively, yeah.
I would like to take that book if nobody else has. Yeah,
I was
I'd
gonna
also
take it,
like
but
to,
you can take it.
well, the other thing I was gonna say, I'm gonna look around here if there's anything Ascalonian looking in terms of like books about, or I guess even like from the time. I would like to nab them, just like one, just for the hell of it, if I see anything.
Make an investigation check for me.
You
Or
know,
perception,
Galatar.
Either way.
Oh wait, well hold on. No, that ought to be 4 plus 16 with perception.
Okay. The closest thing that you find is actually a very nice, elaborate, illuminated manuscript with an ornate, like embossed leather cover, written in Ascalonian, dated 1065, and this is currently, I believe, like 1326. So, over 200 years ago. It's written by a man named Mirac the Scribe from Ashford Abbey, which was an abbey in the kingdom of Ascalon before it fell. The title on the cover says The Flame Seeker Prophecies. And as you open it up, the thick, like vellum pages, you find that this is a translation of the original Flame Seeker Prophecies into Ascalonian by this scribe at the abbey.
Now I do not speak Ascalonian.
Do you not?
No, because I'm not really Ascalonian.
Well, coming from Ebonhawk, you are.
Correct. But as far as, at least in my language chart, I think there's been some this has come up
Okay.
before.
What languages do you have?
So I have Char from my time that I spent with the Char and Common.
Okay.
It's like 1/18 Ascalonian.
Yeah, it's like how
Like
I
his
say, like, oh, I'm
great-great-grandparent.
Norwegian.
He could put it on his college application, but
I would not put strongly proficient
Yeah.
on my job application. Yeah. But seeing that Ascalonian title and like the date or whatever, I'll grab it.
Yeah, and Galatar reads it, so he can tell you what it says if you ask.
I'll have him
I will say
translate
that the letters of Ascalonian are Crichton letters.
Okay.
The Crichton alphabet, it's like the Phoenician alphabet. Like
Right.
Sort of a universal interior.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I was going to loot the library later, but since we're already in the library, what cool books would one find?
I'll have Galatar take
Well,
a peek at this one.
Yeah. What, Jimmy, you're gonna say something?
but Galatar, when if we rest here, we could just open the demi-plane and kind of push all the shelves into the space.
I was thinking that if we were to keep this building, or maybe we expand our building, maybe I create like a giant library and we could have like a whole collection of stuff and like a ladder you could. Oh, it would be amazing. Yeah, but we should for sure put all of these books in the demi-plane. But I was curious if they're like, I guess books too that seem more worn or particularly interesting, or like I don't know if he's one of those people has like his books to read kind of stacked on like his desk there. Yeah, just progressively getting higher.
Current leaf throughs.
I would say Keetri did a thorough look over of the table for like what he was currently looking at. It's not so much their placement or that he had marked them as important, but if you guys want to spend a couple of minutes really kind of looking thoroughly through the selection in this library, there's a lot of stuff that's not particularly interesting, very dry, things that you would find in any like noble's manor. Herbology studies, flora and fauna of travelers, there and back again, sort of adventuring tales of.
And you said it was dry.
It's not like really stuff. Adventures. It's more of like, I went to Ilona. It took 3 months and 17 days. On day 1, we encountered 4 rabbits. They had brown
logistics
ears.
Are important, Ryan.
I would like the Galapagos
Lewis and Clark's
stuff.
expedition tales.
Yeah.
I'd like to remember this man keeps a poop journal, so
Talk about dry.
It's a pee and poop journal. Look, everyone should keep one, okay? We're in medievalish times. People need regular understanding of their bodies so they can consult with their doctors properly.
I will say there are several items that do stand out as notable. Who all is engaging in this sweep of the library?
I do.
I am, but only for knickknacks. Only
Okay.
cool shit.
Did I find anything in Mr. Gray's pockets?
Sorry. No.
Didn't have the keys.
Oh. Yes, actually. Sorry. Garen and Mr. Gray. So sifting among Garen's remains, you also would have found a little steel key, and Gray would also have one.
All right, cool.
I completely forgot that was not in my notes, but they do. So Alexa's searching, Brina's looking for knickknacks, Galatar's searching.
I'll throw up comprehend languages to help me.
Tight. Keetri, Birdie, Kala, are you searching the library?
Seems boring.
It will help
but
search the library.
Everybody else seems really into it, so yeah, I'll like begrudgingly go in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Paperclip, I wanted,
Yeah.
but other than that.
What are we looking for?
Knickknacks.
All the interesting things. Also, remember to like wipe off the blood or anything that's on your hands before touching the books. Just be extra gentle. These are very rare, very beautiful books.
I'll just whisper to Kala.
Sometimes humans will hide valuables in their books. So just kind of leaf through it and see if there's any coins or gems or,
I already looked for the hidden thing. Like,
well, not behind books, but like in the books.
Every book is just secret smut.
Yeah, I'm looking for knickknacks and smut.
All the smut novels
Only
he's been
thing-
reading.
Gotta be
He's-
some in here.
He's really into vampire romance tales.
You saw his fucking portrait room. You don't know what he gets
True.
up to. I don't want to read his fanfic.
First edition
God.
signed Twilight series.
Oh,
So
Autobiography.
Brina,
Oh god.
look at knickknack.
looking around for knickknacks, what you find is actually kind of standing upright, much like a book, but functioning more like a bookend, is a stone stela with ancient Elonian hieroglyphics.
What is this stela?
Like a little stone tablet.
Oh. Stela.
I was so close to answering that sarcastically. It's like, oh, it's kind of like a cartouche.
You guys aren't funny.
Flexing my ancient history muscles.
Yeah, I was gonna be like this guy who loves ancient Egyptian history.
So like at the Sphinx,
I did more
beneath
American
its
Revolution.
beard, there's like a big arched piece of stone that has like an inscription on it. That is a stela.
Okay.
It's weird. They're spelled Stele.
Stone steel. Fuck you guys.
Stone tablet.
And this is in.
It is in ancient Elonian hieroglyphics from Ilona. Kala, you are drawn to the illustration of a warrior embossed in like a gold filigree on the cover of a fairly well kept book, written in Crichton Common, called Nightfall, Memoir of a Sunspear. And a brief kind of flip to the first couple of pages describes the book as a memoir of a member of the Order of Sunspears named Melani, Melonni, who fought beside Spear Marshal Cormyr when she and a group of heroes defeated the fallen god Abaddon. Bertie, you find a rolled up scroll. It's kind of an ornate canister that it's kept in, also written in common. And it says the title, or it is entitled A Treatise on the Tome of the Rubicon, as interpreted by Magister Florian Proudmantle of the Dermond Priory, and it's dated about 50 years ago. Kitri, you find a collection of notes in a thin leather folio that just has on the first interior page a quick note in large text that says, Notes on the discovery of Magus Stones and the founding of Ratasum by Arcanist Vek, V-E-K-K. And it's dated 1078, which is about 200 years ago, give or take.
I'll grab that. Yeah.
Galatar, you are drawn to another Canthan tome that has some like cherry blossoms and like the sort of Chinese styled waves on the front. Inside is written in Canthan with small common letters underneath. We no Su, a history of Canthan magic. And We no Su is W-E-H-N-O-S-U. It looks like most of the book is written in Canthan. And Alexa, you find what looks like a really, really old vellum. So it's not parchment like paper made. It's like inscribed on leather or lamb's skin or something like that. And it is written in a language that you've never seen before. But you are able to read it with comprehend languages.
Luckily.
The actual text of the document is sparse because it is not a document so much as it is a instruction sheet for how to conduct a bloody rite that can capture the soul of its victim and bind it within an elemental. And it kind
Oh.
of gives the details on how to do this.
Glad he kept that around.
Oh, oh.
Dark stuff.
So here's a question that I don't want the answer. Can I tell what kind of vellum this is? Is this like an animal vellum or?
It's just old leather.
Cool, cool. I'm gonna pretend it's not human.
Do you think he found the scroll and was able to do the things he did with the elementals and the souls, or do you think he like designed this himself and then wrote it out on this vellum?
I mean, we don't. There's no way to like really compare his handwriting.
Oh wait,
We
no, we've
have
got
his
the journal.
handwriting.
Oh!
Actually, we do.
Well, shit. Who's good at that?
As you
I
guys
don't know.
kind of hold them up side by side, this was not written by the same hand.
That motherfucking
Much
cheater.
older.
Well, so there's someone else out there making fucked up spells, and he just happened
Yeah.
to piggyback.
I thought he was at least inventively evil, but no.
Who had the tower before him?
Good question. I don't
Well,
think
Before
we
the
know.
first him, because isn't this the second him? And
I think he said the tower dated to ancient times.
Told you that
Marsat?
this dated since before the first Dragon Rise, which was 10,000 years ago.
Dude. Are we I mean, like, could be the same guy, right?
I mean, his dad was Garen, but it
I
wasn't.
doubt
bad.
it.
Did we
If
just
he was
kill
10,000
like a...
years old, I don't think he would have been that easy to kill.
I mean, he said he didn't build it. I feel like if he built it,
That's
he would
true.
brag about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless he
Seemed like the type.
didn't want people to know how old he was, which is, I understand, you know?
I mean, we've got his diary. That's a place to start. If he's like,
Yeah, and
"This is
it's-
volume 4, then maybe we.
Oh, that's true. What if this is in volume 1? But the diary seems to be like 400-ish years old. It starts out in Orient, so it wouldn't be 10,000 plus years old. But
Yeah, that predates humanity.
yeah.
In Tyria.
Mm.
I will say also, just as a point of note for Galatar, the copy of Wei no Su is a first edition print signed by the author Hui Shan.
Huh, joke's on you. I'm never reading that book. I don't read signed books, Ryan. I put them on a shelf as a prize, and I never touch them again.
I'm
Took
totally
my
fine
gloves
with that.
out.
It drives Barry up a log. She's like, why do we need 2 copies of books?
Dropped my
Cool.
gloves.
Also, wait, with that Canthan book, you said it's got like common underneath it for like the title.
On the title page.
Yeah, okay, but then the rest of it is completely
would
in
say-
Canthan, so I'd have to translate it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I have a rock, a rectangular rock with shapes on it.
if I
That's
touch
very
it,
exciting.
can I
Rena.
read it?
Yeah, actually, with your comprehend languages, you kind of run your hand over the hieroglyphics. The glyphs are actually fairly small, and much of it has kind of been damaged and flaked away or rubbed smooth over time. But it mentions something called augury rock, and the term ascension used as like a proper noun. It seems to be a sort of historical account of an event, but other than that, it's difficult to get anything solid out of it.
Right, nouns or adjectives and like participles.
If the Lexa tells us about what it says, do either of those things like ring any bells for any of us of like augury rock or ascension, or those, I don't know, somehow historically famous terms?
Make a history check.
I mean, since I read it, I'll make
Ooh, 10 plus 10, 20.
I beat you.
Yeah. You schooled me, man.
Usually it's an Arcana check. I fight
Hi,
for
Rock.
you against.
Ah, look at you and your 1d4.
Small.
18. It's
Rude.
my rock. I know exactly what this is.
Damn
I'm middle of the
straight.
pack.
You do actually. This is one of the more popular folk stories of comparatively recent history, related to the book that Bertie had picked up, the Flame Seeker Prophecies.
Is this
This
bitch
was-
just a fan?
Huh?
Is he just a fan of the Flameseeker prophecies?
So taking that together with the Stela, you were all able to kind of discuss it and hash out that part of the Flameseeker prophecies, the whole shtick behind them was they predicted the downfall of the Mersat. And in order to defeat them, a group of heroes fled into the deep crystal desert, where they encountered the dragon Glint, who Elonians just call the Prophet. And she guided them through the trials of ascension, culminating in a rite at Augury Rock, a mythological, legendary location in the desert somewhere, deep in the sands. From there, they were blessed by the gods in such a way that they could fight the Mersat without succumbing to their terrible psychic powers. Kind of gave them a little bit of protection against that. The Stela seems to be a physical, historical confirmation of the truth of that.
I say I thought that story sounded familiar, but this now we know for sure it fucking happened, and we can put it on our bar. It'll be the thing that stops the mugs.
Well, let's put it in a slightly safer place, like maybe just behind the counter.
It's like
So we
fucking
know for sure
Crystal
now
Tavern in the
that there was like that there's a rock out there that will grant powers
Well, after a major trial, maybe.
hidden somewhere after a trial.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to become a literal god, Bertie. Like Cormier was a person turned god.
Bertie doesn't need aspirations.
I mean, you would probably have to
mean-
battle Lissa for it, so I mean, good luck with that. But
I feel like Liz and I would be like a power couple. Like, I feel like we could do some great work together.
I don't know. I get the sense gods don't really share their domains.
Right, Bertie, do you
I
really
would-
share the spotlight?
Yeah,
Let's be real here.
Doesn't that mean I'd make a great god, though? Hmm?
it would,
Damn
but
it.
you'd have to replace Listen again. I'm not sure that one's going to
Why
happen.
would I have to replace it? I could be god of a different thing, you know? I
What
could
would you be god of?
God of the fabulous.
Keep going. What else?
Is,
And what does
isn't that
that
enough,
entail?
Brina? Come on. Don't
Would
be
you
greedy.
argue that falls within Lissa's
There's a
domain, or
sudden crack of thunder, or do you
Shit.
just hear, "Too late, bitch"?
Damn,
Mm.
Lissa don't play.
oh my god, is
Listen,
that our
do
first
not
interaction with God?
just kidding. I would never. Maybe one day.
And Bertie was never able to use his magic again. She said, "Fucking try me."
This bitch.
Anyways,
Yeah. So
There's other floors, and
Yeah,
we
have we broken
keys?
and stolen enough stuff on this floor?
Yeah.
yeah, we should
Broken is
probably
Actually, oh,
Oh yeah,
check
I
out the
found
rest of the
keys.
tower. Oh, I need to attune to that thing downstairs if we want to be able to control like where the tower goes or stays.
Yeah. So do you all think maybe bringing
I
it
guess-
to Lion's Arch?
No,
no.
I feel like we
I
should
don't
leave
know.
it.
I think
I don't
we
know about
leave
moving it from its destination, but definitely
feel like-
somebody should be attuned to it until like it's transferred, or else like if something happens, it's going to be an hour before we could actively do anything.
I feel like we just
That's fair.
pretend like Isgaren is still in here. 'Cause
True.
nobody ever saw him,
Who's gonna know?
and then
That's-
everything in the town just goes as normal, and the tourists still come.
Mm-hmm.
What are we
Oh,
going
I
to
don't
tell
think that's a good
Ah!
idea.
We can
either.
vacation here.
Are we
How-
sure that the elementals are still around now that Isgaren is gone?
Yes,
Burger
Also, that
Master said it was
They
okay.
they're
are.
still subservient.
for the
We
moment.
can go look at another
Uh,
fireplace.
Yeah, well, based on the magic on this thing, especially if it predates Isgaren, I would assume the magic isn't dependent on his life force or him being alive.
Well, but his
But I don't know.
souls that he trapped in the elementals, like
Yeah,
they may become sentient one day,
they
or
may
just
be
pissed off at the
sentient.
very least.
Do they
But
know
what if they are
what's happening?
sentient? Yeah, maybe they just resign themselves because nobody understands them and they just keep trying to talk to people and they don't want to hurt their friends or their family.
Yeah, like no
Oh.
ghosts.
Well, I
kinda?
mean, we can
Yeah,
always go
it's
find
really
someone
dark.
and just cast the spell and find out ourselves.
Yeah, can you like telepathically communicate with an elemental, Alexa? Is that like something in your wheelhouse?
I mean, I can always try to talk to it, but I don't know if it can talk back. Like, it doesn't, it's not a two-way street.
Does the realm that Alexa found give any like details about like the process of creating one insofar as whether or not they would retain their sentience or ability to like understand the language they previously knew or anything like that?
You want to take some time to look at it?
Yeah. This will be like an over the night thing.
Nighttime reading materials.
So overnight, take a couple minutes. The parchment does describe that binding of this sort creates an elemental that is permanent and obedient, that just has the vaguest like remnant of sentience left, just enough to function in its purpose, but no real memory of its identity.
This is...
That's
This
just
is
above my
weird.
pay
Should
grade.
we like put the element? Should we just leave the elementals? I mean, they're helping the town, but they're also like people that were forced into this position, even if maybe they are not still sentient regarding their past life.
I mean, what do you
Do we
think
have
is-
any way of asking them?
I think it's sort of like Kala said, is part of it. We just leave them be because, before, if something happened to the elementals, like if someone attacked them or whatever, like it's not like Isgaren would step in personally to stop them. Like the elementals would kind of probably fuck them up.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I mean, if I attune to the thing so that we control where it can go or like make sure it stays safe, we don't have to tell people if Garen died. I think Collar's got a good point. It probably keeps the town safer. It keeps people continuing to come here.
Who else? How many other people were in the manor? Not the tower, but the manor.
Just the ones with
Met
what's his
everybody,
name?
right?
Yeah, Colin, all
I
right.
mean, that's
far as we
everyone we know
know.
of currently.
Well, everyone who didn't
like,
get eaten or turned
Also,
into an
I'm
elemental.
imagining if some of these
believe-
elementals are people who are
Like, where's
maybe
the
more
blacksmith?
recently deceased.
That's Franz.
Was it? Okay.
You're more or less like they could be, trapped inside an elemental watching like their loved ones live their lives, and they, got taken by a vampire and then were like, oh, I'm gonna die, and instead they got shoved inside another body.
Well, based on what the vellum that Lexa found indicates, they don't really remember like their previous life. Like there's a level of sentience, but only insofar as their ability to kind of obey and
I'd say on like a
The
scale of
person isn't
1
really
to 20,
in
they're like a
there.
3.
yeah.
I will
Also,
say, I
not-
think Muriel told you guys that they were the only ones in the manor.
Oh, okay.
I think we asked if there were
Yeah,
more
I'm
people.
pretty sure.
So now the question is, can we, Bertie, keep Muriel and Franz and what's her name from panicking or telling other people that we went to fight this Garen?
Well, if Kolinar may have already told them, I don't know.
I don't think they'll tell anybody if they understand it's best for the town.
Hmm,
I mean,
And
I
we
don't
could always
also
tell
believe that either.
the Priory. They
Birdie,
can come here and somebody can pretend to be a wizard.
memory thing.
Now, Kala, what I don't like about your plan, and it's a good plan, I want that up front, is that actually I think this tower kind of floating island thing would make like a natural addition to my tower in the bar. And I think
See, I
that's just
like-
something we've overlooked.
It's a good
I
idea.
don't
Nope.
think we're gonna get the permits for that.
I will
Yeah.
convince whoever needs convincing that
You
the
start
permits
with
should be.
Ellen.
He really
And
doesn't
I
like
love
me.
where you're going with this, Belty, but you already have a tower.
We're gonna
This
totally
is a
wreck
different
this town.
tower.
This could be your
Yeah.
summer tower.
Yeah, you don't need another tower.
You
One
don't
tower
want
is
your
too many for
vacation
you.
home right on top
That's-
of your normal house.
Now that's something I can get behind, Kala. I think that makes sense, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
All
I
the
mean,
gears
the
in your
Priory
head.
would let
That's
us
super
come
fucking
whenever,
smart.
but
Wow,
they'll
Carl's
take
gotten
care
really
of
good at
it,
this.
so we don't have to clean it.
I do hate cleaning, so these are compelling arguments.
Yeah, I do want us to retain some semblance of involvement, though, because if this thing is 10,000 plus years old, I mean, it's got to have all kinds of things that could potentially be
Galatar,
helpful
you have
against
a
the
Priory
very
doesn't
share
dragons.
of
hate
that
us.
responsibility.
Oh yeah, I work with the Priory. I feel like if it's 10,000 years old, we've got to be able to learn things that could help us against the dragons for sure. Because I don't know what
So- I mean-
civilization could have created this.
That's more reason to talk to the Priory. That's what
Yeah.
they're all about.
We should for sure involve them. No question.
I believe
I could send a message right now.
Isgaren said something about the people who built the tower.
I can't remember
It's
if
about
he
the
like
Sears.
The Sears.
I
the
think.
Sears built the tower.
Yeah, which is
Does that?
they were a sort of sister race to the Mersat.
Like,
The
not
Sears
evil
and the
Mersat.
Mersat fought each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Eventually, the Sears were wiped out by the Mersat.
Gotcha. So they're like, aside from this that we now know from Isgaren was built by the Sears, are there any other things that, like within the Dermot Priory's possession or anything else that are like famously known to have been built or constructed or from anything to do with the Sears?
I would say you do not know that.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think we should leave it up to Isabel and Franz. I mean, they probably lived the experience of getting. What are you laughing at, Lexa?
That's good idea all
I mean,
around.
you know, we can go with whatever we need, really. Simple charm, memory wipe, total domination.
I really
whatever.
think they're gonna be okay with just pretending like everything's fine up here.
I think Color's got the good point. They seem like they'd be reasonable people if we explained the purpose behind.
But maybe they'll run away together. Never
Do you
come
think they're
back
in
here.
We
love?
don't
They
want to go
Do you
back.
think they would want to stay here?
Oh.
Probably don't want their heads.
Oh,
They
wait,
back.
but
probably
their
never wanna
family,
come
they
back
have
here ever
family here,
again.
don't they? Or
Mm-mm.
something?
You know who probably doesn't want to leave though is that Baker. She definitely does not want to go back to her family. So
Yeah, she told me she hated her family. That was
She's gonna need like a real deep memory wipe to remember that she loves her family.
yeah,
As soon as I charmed her, she confided in me that she hated her family, like absolutely hated them.
she did say within like the few minutes we met her that her daughter was the greatest disappointment in all of
I
human
didn't
history.
even ask. Was the weird
Watch
thing,
for-
you know?
I'm starting to think you're lying.
I just like watching Ryan's face.
I love
Wanted
the
to be a
lore
mother,
of it.
Okay, Muriel wanted to bake.
Right.
Next thing you know, there's a baby. Your life
Her
gets
family
away from
didn't
you.
understand.
Grandma just wanted a vacation.
Permanent vacation.
Little break. Spend some peace and
She
quiet.
went
in
out for a
final
pack of
days,
smokes.
cooking her way.
Fine.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm just gonna start moving towards the next
hilarious.
floor.
Oh.
Slowly leaving us to our
Oh, I did have Jimmy. Was Alexa present when? Because I know you came with me a few times to meet grandfathers at Tombe. Were you there that time? They gave him the artifact, and he like had his collector friend or whatever that he reached out to. I can't remember.
No, I don't think I was there for that because
Okay.
the collector guy is secretive.
Yeah, and then you can't help me.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Gonna
think
ask
I-
you if you
I
could
think
message
you were
him.
there alone then.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'll check because I do.
I just can't remember.
Because that was when you took a book.
Yeah, I took something,
Oh,
but then I knew Alexa had gone
the
with me
Tome
several
of the
times.
Unblinking Eye.
God, we've been playing for so long. It's taking me.
Yeah, that was
Tome of the Unblinking
the
Eye.
book of the Unblinking Eye, which was a dark, super evil necromantic tome. God, where did you guys get that? Fuck, I don't even remember.
Yeah, me neither.
We've
Minister
stumbled upon a lot of
Zaman?
evil books.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was something
Oh,
to
is
do
that
with
who it
the
was?
mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah, does it become weird if you just keep showing up with extremely evil necrotic shit to somebody and being like, "Hey, I found this."
Name of the game.
Okay.
Right. So you guys head downstairs to the second floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the scrying room, the painting studio, the gallery, and then a sort of reception room with the instruments in it.
I'll go ahead and start attuning because the orb's on the second floor, right? The
It is.
control thing. I'll start attuning to that while everyone else looks around and does stuff.
Okay.
I'm not going in the painting rooms.
Yeah, I don't want to get anyone.
Just Kala's avoiding that half of the floor.
I know I shouldn't, but I feel like I can't. Okay, I know there's that piano in there. Can I just inspect it? Is there anything, are there like runes on it? You know, is there anything off about this piano?
Make an investigation check. Or perception check. Because you're just like looking at it, trying to see if
Yeah.
there's anything off.
29.
It actually looks vaguely familiar. Not the specific unit itself, but the craftsmanship, the style.
Yeah.
You've seen pianos like this. They're all pretty old. But it's like looking at a Stradivarius violin. It's an exquisite piece. Other than that, nothing seems out of place. It's just perfection.
Can I gauge its like I have like an ancient Vabian lute from something, like it's got like an origin to it. Can I, is this the same origin in terms of like this is from?
This is definitely a Crichton object. So
Interesting.
it was made by someone in this kingdom, probably in the last 200 years or so, but it was very expensive.
And Alexa,
Top shelf.
do you see anything magic about this here piano?
No pop to detect magic on it.
No magical aura?
Nope. Seems all normal.
All right, I'll play a little ditty while people are attuning to shit. Yeah, sure.
Galtar, your consciousness kind of stretches out and you start taking in the sensations that this orb's giving you, and yeah, there's little pleasant tickling of the ivories.
Elevator
like it.
attunement music.
Yeah, beautiful background to attunement.
Yeah, there you
Go.
Thanks, Birdie.
Fanima goes walking. Yeah.
go. Yeah.
There's nothing else really on this floor, though. I mean, we can go down. I think the first floor is where we had.
I'd like to look around the music room and just see if there's anything interesting.
The music room?
Yeah, with the piano and the harp. If there's anything.
Take a look around. The fire in this fireplace is lively, and as you move around the room, you notice that it occasionally takes a vaguely humanoid shape and kind of watches you for a moment before fading back to normal flames.
Seems just like it was before. Like, okay.
Yes, it seems just like the one upstairs that became an elemental when the security of that floor was compromised.
Okay.
Alexa, I'll say with the doors open and your magic, detect magic aura up, the basin in the scrying room is clearly magical, if you hadn't already seen that.
No, I don't think I had.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the paintings are also obviously magical, but the basin itself in the center of the room, very much so.
I'll go touch it and see what happens. Like, I'll put both my hands on either side of it. Well, can I even? Actually, how tall is it? Because I have to back up and ask that question. I always forget. I mean, if it's like 4 feet tall, I'm effed.
The basin itself rises 4 feet, but there are small steps that kind of like a little dais that it stands on. And looking at it, like the steps, the pillar, and the basin itself all seem to be carved out of the same stone as the tower, and there are no seams. It's almost like it was pulled from the floor itself. It's perfectly kind of fused in with it. But you can get up on your tiptoes and look over.
Okay, then yeah, I'll kind of look. I'll grab both sides and look in, especially because I need to bounce myself.
Check something right quick.
Oh, and we still have that magical wine, alcohol, crystal to drink. Kind of forgot about that.
Did we ever? We never did. Were able to like confirm that this was the guy who went through our stuff. We're just like assuming it was him, right?
Oh no.
I mean, we didn't get time to like.
He got
chat.
real offended when I accused him of it.
Yeah,
I
okay.
feel like if
That's-
you get accused of something you didn't do, you're just like, no, it wasn't me.
I
you
mean,
know.
I guess
you
we
know.
can always, just if we go back and stay at the inn, if we act like we're not sitting a watch tonight, and then we wake up and like our stuff's been like rearranged, we'll know it probably wasn't him. But I
And
feel
then
like
you
you're
killed
probably
him
right.
for nothing.
I'm pretty sure
like-
it was him.
He was probably being a creep.
If someone fucks with our shit tonight after he's dead, then it definitely wasn't him.
And then we're gonna be real confused.
Jesus.
Alexa, touching the scrying station, you get almost a tingle from the strength of the enchantment, but it doesn't do anything at the moment.
I will just assume you have to attune to it, but that's fine. I don't want to do that.
Okay. So as Galatar continues to attune, that takes an hour. Birdie, are you playing for that duration?
Yeah, if we're taking like a short rest per se.
I mean, I'm going down to the first
Um,
floor.
Yeah, I will. I'll use this time. I'll play. I'll do a short rest, and I will during that time use this as my song of rest, so that any friendly creatures who can hear me can use an extra and you spend hit dice can do an extra d10 healing.
Should we do a short rest? Because there's a couple of locked doors on the next floor.
I was gonna say I would love to do a short roast.
We'll short rest first and then do shenanigans. Fine.
Everybody's cool with that.
Can we drink the crystal stuff?
I feel like we should identify it, but
Vacation's not over.
Fine. Ah, I know it's supposed to be vacation. Alexa's still antsy.
I'm
That's
immune
right,
to
you guys.
poison. The rest of you aren't.
Where the hell is Galatar? Did we lose him in the library? Did he wander back?
I'll sit.
Standing in the middle of the floor.
I'll sit with the
clutching
alcohol.
navigation orb.
Oh, that's right. I forgot already. Alexa instantly.
Like, I'm over here.
I'll sit with the alcohol while we're short resting,
Oh, just like touching it
touching it and
to identify.
to identify.
Can we click the short rest button?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Rena's gonna
You guys-
sit and try and talk to the fire elemental during that short rest. Why are you laughing?
Because
You
I
guys,
think it's
you
funny.
guys pass a mostly uneventful short rest. You occasionally hear Brina in casual conversation. Brina, make a persuasion check for me.
Good. Sorry, all my shit's in the way. 15. Honestly, not that bad.
It's not. As you kind of sit cross-legged before the flames, just kind of saying whatever's on your mind, talking to it, just catching up, shooting the shit.
I just want to know if they're upset about being trapped in an elemental form. Yes, I know they're about 2 intelligence, but so am I. And we'll form some camaraderie.
You get about half an hour into it, and you start to notice that sometimes, as you kind of look off and are not focused on the flames, when you turn back, it seems to have taken a more humanoid expression and is almost mimicking your movements. But then when you look back, it kind of holds shape for a second and then fades back into flame.
That's cool. Sucks to be an elemental, man.
I will say at about the end of the short rest, you hear like it opens up not even a mouth, it's like a crease in the face zone, and it just goes, and then fades back into nothing. It's like it was trying to emulate speech and just didn't.
Elemental?
Mm-hmm.
Just make noises right now. Oh, this is sad. He's a little sentient. Fuck.
So yeah, you guys pass a short rest. And any hit dice you need, and then I think you get an extra D6?
10.
D10 for Birdie playing his Song of Rest on this amazing piano.
Can I do something that I've never done before because I've never had any occasion to?
Certainly try.
Due to my background as a something, I have a 5th level commune with nature. That's just
Okay. Yeah.
whatever the spell is, ritual spell. You take 10 minutes to cast. You briefly become one with nature and gain knowledge of the surrounding territory. In the outdoors, the spell gives you knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. In caves and other natural underground settings, the radius is limited to 300 feet. Oh. The spell doesn't function where nature has been replaced by construction, such as in dungeons or towns. But
You're in a giant ancient tower.
we're in a giant ancient tower, but we're also floating?
Was it technically constructed?
You are in an arcane construct right now. You are
But there's
far
nature.
removed from the natural world.
Well, I was interested because there was comments regarding powerful celestials, fae, fiends, elementals, or undead, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys
Something
should
to
really
remember
consider reading
for
your
future.
spells sometime.
Yeah, you've never had a chance to use that before?
I did speak with animals once when we were in the fucking Belloc guy. Fucking what am I gonna do, Canfield? How much time do you got for a 10-minute ritual
Learn the terrain
spell?
for 3 miles around seems not unuseful.
Could warn us
Honestly,
about
that
some
would be helpful in
snowstorms.
some places. You know what, guys?
We've all learned something.
Some of you have spells for real, and some of
Here
you
we are,
have
level 16, learning our spells.
pretend. I have 3 of them.
Those are toughies.
That's crazy. I didn't know you had any spells.
Man,
What
neither.
spell- What spells do you have?
Barbarians.
I mean, functionally.
Barbarians can do speak with animals and commune with nature, especially as rituals.
What's your third spell?
Be sense. 2nd level. I mean, it's
I mean, my barbarian can cast Scorching Ray. It's got a
Crazy.
circlet.
my barbarian's bigger than your barbarian.
Yes.
She mostly just vibes. She doesn't really have any.
Sense.
Kala, at the end of your short rest, you learn that the crystal bottle is it is certainly an ancient dwarven artifact that has somehow been wound up here. It is enchanted to keep the contents forever fresh at their ideal, maybe not at the ideal age, but let me look specifically what it says. Enchanted to keep whatever is inside from spoiling. So it is a sort of preservative enchantment.
Okay, but it's not like an endless decanter. It just keeps what you
No.
put in.
Yeah, so when this is gone, it's gone, and a quick dip of the claw and a taste reveals that this is extraordinarily fine dwarven whiskey. And as there are no more dwarves anymore, at least
Yeah.
not functionally, it's some of the last dwarven whiskey in the world.
How much is in there?
But if Galatar drinks it, can he re-magic
Yeah.
make it?
It's like the jar itself is probably 6 inches tall, like 4 inches wide, and about 3 inches deep. And it's not quite full because you can see the level,
Okay.
but like not a lot.
Not like 6 shots or more.
Probably about that. But we'll say so.
Everybody gets a shotty.
That's kind of what college
Perfect
was like.
post-dragon
like
whiskey.
16 ounces. Yeah.
Are we saving for the next
16
dragon?
ounces? So that's like,
Maybe we save for when all the dragons
well,
are dead, because all the
no.
dwarves are.
This is 12 ounce.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, about
So
16.
that's
And
more than
anymore,
enough
man.
for us to all have a shot at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Kala will tell everyone what it is.
I mean, are we
Wow.
saying shot now?
Yeah, when do you want to drink it? Do you want to save it, or
Maybe
like
when this is like done.
all the dragons dead
When-
done?
No, vacation. Maybe.
Oh,
just vacation, okay,
mess,
yeah.
You
You had
know,
me go
like
in there for a second. Well, let's go check the doors then.
does this seem like if I put the stopper in it, can I put it in the bag of holding? Will it be okay? Does it
It seems to
stick enough?
get a little suction, but yeah, it'll stay.
All right, I'll put it in there.
Kola, also, if you have items that you want me to identify while you all look around the other rooms, now that I've attuned to this, I can do that for you, because I don't really have anything else I want to look at.
Yeah, there's like 3 rings and this cloak.
Perfect. Alexa, are all of these magical items?
They didn't get blown up, so
The silver and gold rings are non-magical.
I figured.
Okay.
Okay.
The one with the little horns on it is magical,
Okay.
and so is the cloak.
I figured the evil ring was probably.
Horny cloak.
How's the cloak?
Sounds
Does
right.
it look cool, or is it just like?
It is it's understated. It's not flamboyant, but
No.
it's like a deep pitch, like midnight black silk traveling cloak, and like a dark crimson red on the interior lining.
Can I go ahead and identify ritually then both of those while they're moving around and doing the other stuff on the other floor?
Okay. So just for your information, having attuned to the navigation orb,
Oh yeah. And I've unattuned from the bloodstone for reference.
while you are touching the orb, as an action, you can cause the tower and the island to move at a speed of 1 mile per hour in a straight line. In
Sounds
any
very
direction
fast.
you
That's
choose,
so fast.
until it stops or is made to stop, or until you use another action to change its direction.
Okay.
If that movement were to bring the castle or the island into contact with the ground, it would just sort of gently come to rest and stop.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Use your action to cause it to stop yourself. You can also cause it to make a slow 90-degree turn, clockwise or counterclockwise, even if it's moving. And you, as long as you're touching the orb, you know the altitude of the base of the island above the ground or the water.
And is there like an item or something on D&D Beyond that I could
Called a navigation orb.
navigation on? Okay.
Yeah, just ignore the description because the original item is like 7 feet in diameter
Okay.
for a giant's cloud castle.
Gotcha. Okay. Navigation. Cool. And then can I go ahead and get what those other 2 items are off the top while everybody else is doing that?
So we'll say you sit down and start to identify either the ring or the cloak. Which one would you do first?
Probably do the ring first, since it's the one that, I don't know, seems like it'd probably be more interesting.
All right. So I'm going to say you sit down and start to identify that. So we've got about
Yep.
10 minutes to account for the rest of you. Are all of the rest of you going to the first floor?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Bring that map up. I guess I could have moved us to the second floor map. That would have made sense.
Yeah, because there were some doors on the first floor we'd never opened, weren't there?
I don't think you opened any of them. Oh no, you did.
We
You
opened the
opened
one.
potion
We opened
room.
one.
We opened the
Okay.
one with the screaming
With our
skull
bane.
that's in my
You
bag.
can ask him anything but who he is.
He said, no,
And
try
then,
the potion. It's really good.
You know, he like almost TPK'd us. And then after that, we were like, maybe there's other deadly things, so we should just go get the job done.
You said, Brianna, try the potion.
Try
Okay, awesome. Try it
Hey.
again.
more.
The first drink was good.
Try it again, Brianna. See what happens. You said it probably only happens on like the third or fourth time. Honestly.
And we learned thanks to your trial and
Right.
error.
Sacrifice.
Through your efforts.
That's right. Through your efforts and sacrifice, and for you, we are grateful.
We stand on your shoulders and feel tall.
That's right. You're truly the greatest magician of the age.
My fucking dead ass body is what you will stand on.
You know what you should do now, though, is drink some more to see if, you know,
Enough
it's
time
more like
has
you
passed?
can only, yeah.
It's like a
Like, is an hour long enough that you can have more?
If you rolled high enough on persuasion, I bet you would. You can't do it for me, but
Brina, I bet you can't drink anymore.
what the fuck did you just say?
There it is.
Yeah, I forgot a whole mechanic about that too.
You actually get paralyzed for an hour.
Are you serious?
Worse.
Yeah, you actually became an elemental, so
Right.
Wait,
your body is just slowly turning to fire.
can we find out what it is, or no? Or are you gonna be like, oh, you have to drink it to find out?
Because we will.
I'll say if I will tell you that we're talking about the cauldron, right? Taking a
Mhm.
second dose.
Yes.
Yeah. Once you've had a dose, if you take a second one within a certain time frame, you take that what would be healing necromantic energy, and it does the reverse. But you suffer an internal injury that sticks with you for a while.
Oh no.
So if you want
Like,
to look
what
around
kind
and
of
find
internal
out,
injury are we talking about?
I'm gonna leave that one behind the curtain for the moment because I can always pull it out later and surprise you with it.
Ooh.
Pretty hairy
When
stuff.
Bernie
though.
won't give Tim a raise, he just starts poisoning our alcohol.
Oh,
Not
Jesus.
consent to this.
So as Galatar starts to concentrate on this item to identify it, the rest of you descend to the first floor. You find the raised dais in the center with the angel statue and 3 closed doors. The door to the alchemy room lying partway open with its lock now removed.
Which door do we want to
Petrie.
do first?
Oh, I was gonna say Kitri will run over to the door that she's standing next to and be like, Kala, open this one first. I don't know what's in it, but you know, maybe there's not a skull in this one. Maybe I'll just not talk to it. If there's something that talks, I just won't talk.
I will go and use one of the keys.
It turns
I
and
don't have
unlocks,
keys.
and the door gives slightly.
Push it open.
This chamber has several elaborate, though age-worn tapestries hanging from its curved walls, in addition to a pair of wooden stands that flank the doorway, with ornate armor hung upon them for display. A threadbare crimson rug stretches from the entryway to the far northern wall, at the end of which stands an 8-foot-tall mirror in a dark wooden frame, carved intricately, the frame with humanoid faces displaying every possible emotion, from terrified screams and howls of rage all the way up to like manic laughter and smug superiority.
I don't want to look directly in the mirror.
Good call.
You avert your eyes.
I'd like to pull out a sword and like roll the rug up a little bit, but not
Okay.
step on it and step like around the rug.
Good call.
Wow, we are PTSD group.
I love
This is a
Paula has
professional
learned all of her
adventurer
lessons.
at
I
work
feel like
right
I
here.
have done a good job as a DM.
Fucking
That's
learning.
amazing.
Yeah, you slide the sword under and kind of hurl the rug forward a bit, and it rolls over. Nothing untoward happens. As you move in, there's a suit of armor hanging up next to you.
I'm just fucking back.
Yeah. So as you kind of walk in, Kala, you see the first tapestries. It's odd to you. The Char don't really do tapestries so much. They are accomplished weavers, but tapestries have never really been a Char thing. You've seen similar decorations in other places, usually like rich merchant villas. Zaemon had a couple. You've seen them throughout some of the higher level places in Divinity's Reach. This is just like a group of what look like people from an earlier age of humanity, probably a couple hundred years ago, from their dress and the odd way that they're styled and shaped. It's an older work of art, but a little moth-eaten, kind of tattered at the edges. Nothing really stand out.
All right, I'd like to look more closely at the armor.
Okay. That one on the west appears to be a breastplate of gleaming silver. You gather it's steel, but it's polished to almost a mirror finish, with an ornate heraldic crest on the chest. And it seems to be exquisitely well made.
All right, I guess I'll look at the other one.
As you guys watch through the doorway, Kala moves over to the second mannequin. This one is a notably different style. Rather than the gleaming armor of a knight and some of the more old-fashioned stuff, this is leather armor, but it's a deep, like vibrant red. It's well crafted. The padding inside seems to be of a very high quality. There's not a scuff or scratch on it. The lacing that kind of holds some of the leather pieces together through the shoulder pauldrons and the couple of sections of the chest itself, laced together with a also very dark red, very thick leather cording. Also of exquisite make, but looks kind of exotic, like it's probably not Crichton.
There's like a weird mirror with some tapestries in here.
Oh, I'm not coming in if there's a mirror. I
Yeah,
can't not
yeah.
look at it.
I just don't think
Do
I
we
could resist.
can someone figure out if it's magical? I mean, I know Alexa could, but she doesn't want to look at it, so.
Yeah, I can't.
I can cover it up with the rug, maybe.
Yeah, but what if it does something cool?
If you cover up all but part, then Alexa could just see the corner, or like the frame. Maybe she could see if it's magic without, getting affected by it.
I'll take part of the rug and try to cover the mirror part and let part of the frame show.
Okay. I would say with your passive dexterity, you're able to lift the rug up as you kind of walk backwards, and out of the corner of your eye get a sense of where it is, drape that off in such a way that it obscures the glass, or most of it. And Alexa, if you're peeking in with your
Yeah, I'll
detect
step
magic,
in.
you get that both of the sets of armor have a faint magical aura, and the mirror itself also radiates a magical aura, this time of conjuration, or it's an odd blend of conjuration and illusion. or
I
strike
don't.
that divination and illusion.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. I don't think that mirror is a bad thing. And these suits of armor, they're they're kind of like the orb that Birdie has. They're like it's a faint magical aura. Like they're not really magical. You probably can't do anything with them.
Oh, shut the hell up, Alexa.
But no, I want to see the mirror.
Yeah, Keitri will help Alexa like undo Kala's, careful rug hanging and just
You
take
got the
off
sack
the-
ready, Kala?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Always ready.
All right.
You see yourselves reflected in it. It reflects the hall behind you, and it is a large and flawless mirror. There's no warping or bending in it. The frame itself is a rich dark wood, and the lifelike shape of the faces and the expressions of the beings carved into it is outstanding. Yeah, it's just, it has a very potent magical aura, but nothing happens.
Well, I guess that was kind of a letdown. And I reach out and I touch the mirror.
Gonna say,
Lay a
make
hand on the
wish.
glass, and nothing happens.
Fuck!
Although at your height, you notice that kind of in between the ornate faces, in a very thin ribbon-like shape, but nevertheless carved into the wood, is a ribbon or banner with the words "In Memoriam."
So it's in memory of someone? Maybe if you have
or
someone...
someone's.
I think of my dead boyfriend.
Oh,
Oh, from the fall.
It's gonna be like that mirror from Harry Potter, but sadder.
Oh no, that was a sad Harry Potter mirror too.
That's true. That was pretty sad.
There is a faint shimmer to the mirror, like almost like a heat line, or like a heat wave coming off a hot pavement passes in front of it. Everything's kind of distorted for a moment, and then the effect kind of fizzles and fades, and nothing happens. You gather you're on the right track, but it doesn't react to apparently naming people from your memory.
Try Isgaren, see if he's in there now.
Sup, loser?
Yeah,
see
I'll
him
think...
though.
I mean, I'll
maybe
try to
we-
think of Isgaren. Why
Maybe
not?
when you're a vampire, like you lose all the people you love if you don't kill them, and then you want to see them.
All right, think of Isgaren then.
Yeah, does he show up when we try to think of him?
When you're thinking of it, nothing happens. When Keitri, when you say Isgaren, there's that shimmer again, and then nothing happens.
I'll
Maybe-
try to stand in front of it and hold up one of my swords. Like maybe it needs an item that belonged to someone, and see if that banshee lady appears.
Ooh.
As you hold the blade forward, nothing happens.
Nothing.
Here, do you want to take a look at Isgaren's journal? I'm focused on this
Galatar
thing.
is upstairs identifying.
Oh, I'm still upstairs. I'm sorry. I thought I went downstairs and was just doing it down there while they were down. My fault.
Oh, did you want to do it down on the first floor?
Yeah, I was still gonna be where people were, just like doing my thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily
so
want to be
you-
alone in the creepy ass tower.
I was kind of wondering, but
Eh.
I would say you probably need to kind of sit still while you're doing it. If you want to pick.
Yeah,
a
you have
place.
to have your hand on it and like somewhat concentrating. I just didn't know if it was kind of like one of those things where you can't really focus on anything else, but like if you're aware something's happening, I could like throw the journal in their direction.
Checks the book.
I would say you kind of like you could probably spare a brief word or two, but I would say you probably need to kind of stay in one place.
But no, don't worry about them.
Okay.
What if it has to be someone from Isgaren's memory?
Well, maybe we're thinking
Or
about
sorry,
this the
his
wrong
memory.
way. And oh, I go up and I say Birdie's name.
I was like, ooh, what if it tells you how you fucking die? Oh God, Alexa, do it. Oh God.
There's a faint shimmer, and
Hmm.
you gather at this point that naming people
Mm,
doesn't trigger anything.
okay.
It does seem that like standing in front of the mirror and speaking with a specific purpose will trigger something, but conjuring people just doesn't seem to do anything.
I would like to try standing in front of the mirror and saying, was it 2 nights ago that our stuff got rifled through? Like, name that time and see if it will show us that.
How do you phrase that?
I'd say whatever the date and time was, because I don't know what the in-game dates are.
Fair enough. So
I say the date and time,
like
and then
Tuesday 8 p.m.
Tuesday at 8 p.m. Yeah.
So you do that, and again, there's this shimmer, like you're on the right track, but that specific conjuring doesn't provoke a response from the mirror.
If I add like at the inn, was the name of the inn, and
Birdie at this point saying, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And he'll just take a look at himself. Yeah, it works. What can I say?
What what was the name of the dragon that's in the Maguma jungle?
Mordramoth?
Yeah. Well, we already said it's not names. Shit.
What if it has, I don't
a
know.
date.
A date?
A
did
date
not seem
from
to work.
like 10 years ago? So I could just throw out a random
you named
one.
a date and a time, and
Yeah.
nothing happened.
It's divination and illusion
In memoria.
with in memoria.
Tons of different expressions carved into the frame.
When did Isgaren kill someone last?
What if I say like
She just
meeting
blurts that
Birdie?
out.
So Kitri blurts out, when did Isgaren
To the
kill
mirror.
someone
Like,
last?
when did Isgaren kill someone last?
You say something and there's that heat shimmer. And then it fades.
And then nothing.
Kala says,
Damn.
when I met Birdie. And this time the heat shimmer crosses it, and as the heat ripples the mirror, the scene changes.
God, we fucking got it.
And for a moment, they're replaying in perfect clarity is Kala's memory
Oh my god.
of a past event.
Interesting.
Oh, this is
That's pretty cool.
okay. Yes, this is
It's gotta be
pretty-
something you remember.
Wow, thought it was the mirror from Harry Potter. It's just the pensieve the whole time. Who knew? Wrong object. That's so cool.
Ooh,
Huh,
let me try. Let me try. When I woke up? No, not like this morning, but like when I was born, but not born, but like woke up.
You're awakening.
When I came out of the pod.
Ugh.
The image shifts again, and you all watch as a stark naked newborn Kitri pulls her way free from a seed pod, hanging from a large bough as other Sylvari gather around her and cloak her in a blanket, smiling, looking wide-eyed in wonder at the world around her. Slight panic on her face.
And it isn't from like your perspective as like
It's
like
sort of
third
like
person.
a third person, and it's sort of moving around in an almost omniscient way.
Can somebody do the night at the in a couple days ago, but from like when we were sleeping. Is that too abstract as far as how memory works? If it is kind of
You
like
guys play a little bit, and nothing you do seems to trigger
Galatar,
anything because you were
your
effectively
memory. Fuck,
unconscious.
why are you doing shit right now, Galatar?
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
focusing.
I will say at this point you finished the spell. It's been about 10 minutes.
Get in here. Where were you?
The ring with the two horns on it. The attuned wearer
Mhm.
is exempted from the magical restrictions that bind this tower.
From the magical restrictions that bind this tower.
Yeah, it's an odd knowledge that you gain. You gather that it's like a protective enchantment that allows the wearer to not be fettered by arcane limitations. And it has been designed specifically for this tower.
So when you say fettered by arcane limitations, do you mean like the tower's defenses or by the typical limits of the arcane within the confines of the tower that you can go?
The tower's defenses.
Okay. So like say if something shot fire from the tower, you wouldn't be
No.
affected.
You would be.
Oh, you would be. Okay.
Like
There are-
teleportation?
There are other measures in place. The ring itself doesn't identify the tower's defenses, but you gather that it's sort of like wearing a badge when you walk into a police station. You're
Uh-huh.
like, okay, you're cool. It's like a backstage pass.
I don't like it. It's maybe uncomfortable that you won't tell us anything else because that means there are
Haven't had a way to
defenses
find
here
out
we have
yet.
not encountered.
We gotta fuck
okay.
around some. That's what we're
Cool.
hearing.
Sorry, what was it you wanted, Alexa?
Come in here and look at this mirror and tell us about that time you were gone in the hot tub.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll do that. But also, real quick, does anybody want this ring? It protects you from the tower's defenses, which doesn't say what they are, so there may still be more of them. But you have to attune to it. But will protect you. If anybody would like it, if not, I'll just save it for later when I come back with the Derman Priory at some point.
I'll be honest. I'll pocket. I'll do it. Well,
Anybody
I mean,
else?
like somebody ought to, right?
I'm thinking that while we're in here, somebody probably should just to be safe. In
I
case
can
any
do
traps.
it, I guess, if nobody else wants to unattune from something.
Yeah, you're pretty practical too. Maybe it makes sense that you would be the one to also since you go first a lot. Although it might be awkward if like you go first, you don't trigger the trap, you follow behind, you just get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, could
Would be
give it to
awkward.
somebody who's a little squishier.
Yeah, let Birdie have it.
Okay. Bertie, would you like to borrow this violin in the tower?
Especially if he's gonna try to fuck around with
My
some of the shinier
Galatar,
things
you're
here.
so
You know there's
kind for
there's
asking.
trips.
Yeah, put out your finger, I'll put it on.
You have to get on a knee.
What a wonderful moment.
Do it properly.
This
I won't
is a
do it at
moment
all.
I can look at in the mirror in the future.
Give him the respect he deserves.
Proposals in a
Delta.
vampire tower.
Wow.
How romantic.
Down on one knee. Okay, so I will try and remember the scene with the water nymph and the little guy that was flying around and very irate about my iron sword to see if that appears.
So I will say it takes you a couple of tries to nail down the syntax of this, because what it is it's a specific event, not a series of events. So like your emergence in the water, or your conversation with the nymph, or the arrival of the pixie, and it'll show you one of those things. So you're able to get it eventually to say one, and then when that memory ends, do another one. It's relatively short enchantment.
Okay, so that was my question, because like when Kala says when she met Birdie, is it just the initial moment of the meeting, or is it like the
Yeah, it doesn't
event
just
of
keep
that
playing
moment?
for like hours and hours and hours. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know if it was like
just
a
that moment.
1 minute thing of like them first meeting and talking, like initially like, hey, or if it's the like 10 minutes of them robbing a guy's
There's
room.
a little bit of leeway, kind of depending on how the event is framed in your own mind, but yes, you are
'Cause I-
able eventually to bring that memory to the movie,
Okay.
and you guys
Because like I
all
was
see
only there a
Fey
few minutes.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hell's bells, Galatar. I
Yeah,
guess
no, I
you
told you.
really were somewhere else.
Also, I'm pretty sure that it wasn't the past since I was still able to communicate with you, which makes me think maybe another dimension?
It seems likely. I mean, at this point, anything, we're starting to learn that there is any possibility.
Yeah, you know what you and I could do? I think with that demi-plane, we would be able to go back.
We don't have a tuning fork from there.
Oh, we need a tuning fork specifically for that place?
Yes, that's. I had to work with
Oh.
Kolinar to make one for somewhere else.
So you don't need a tuning fork for the demi-plane. You just need to have created a demi-plane in that space before?
Well, sorry, I was jumping ahead to plane shift out of the demi-plane. That's
Oh yeah, but I can also cast demi-plane. So like we're in the demi-plane. Like theoretically, I could open the door there if we had previously opened it.
No, when you cast demiplane, you open a door to a demiplane.
Yeah, no, it's not a plane shift is
Yeah,
what you
you
want.
can't go back to the material that way.
Gotcha.
So like
okay.
I have a very roundabout teleport because I can jump to a demi-plane and then plane shift anywhere back to the material plane because I have that fork. But I can't go to where you went.
Gotcha. Okay, so
There
you
is a
can't get
way,
out of
but
like
not
your own
your
demi-plane.
Yeah,
Period.
if that door closes behind you, you
Yeah,
better have
you
a
can-
spell to get out.
You
So
get
what you're
fucked.
saying is I need to pick up plane shift.
Yes, that's
what
why I picked it
I'm
up.
hearing.
Only if you plan on
Gotcha.
staying in the demiplane more than an hour.
Yeah.
I thought it was only like 30 minutes for the door.
No, it is an
I
hour.
think it's an hour.
Yeah.
Is it an hour? Okay.
Demi-plane is an hour.
Gotcha.
Like the demi-plane does exist for eternity, but the door only exists for an
Yes,
hour.
okay. Oh, it's 30 feet for the room. That's what I was thinking of. 30 feet. Okay. Gotcha. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we could go through the, I guess, the hot tub and try that.
well, meh.
We could always escape through the demi-plane should the need
I
arise.
don't
but I would love to
necessarily
explore.
want any more vacations on the vacation. This was not a vacation, decidedly, at this point.
Yeah, but these people live in a dimension where dragons are present. Like, in seemingly not like, I don't know, they didn't seem to view or interact with dragons the same way we do. So it could be, I don't know, very interesting information.
Yeah, if we could maybe learn from them, I guess.
I still know. You don't know what you don't know, you know?
We don't know what's behind that door behind us.
So are we gonna? So here's a question. Yeah, I mean, we probably should, right? Like, I will go ahead and start attuning to this ring.
What is that ring called? Is it on D&D Beyond, right?
The item
Horny
we
tower
can use instead is called the horned ring.
Horned ring. Okay.
And
So I was
that
gonna
particular
once we're
item
That is
is,
my party gets it.
Yeah, that particular item's from another module, but it's the same thing. It requires
Okay.
attunement, and it allows you to ignore the magical restrictions of this space.
Cool. And then once we're out of here, we can gift it to the Derman priority.
Yeah. So do I guess. Would I have to
Kinda spend a
unattune?
short rest.
Yeah.
So I kind of house rule this, that if you have 3 items attuned and you want to attune to a new thing, you just take off the one you want to unattune from, and I'll just let that work. Because otherwise, I think technically it's the oldest item is unattuned or something, and I don't fuck with that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's too
Yeah.
much micromanaging.
Yeah, that
Real-
just sounds silly.
So you have to still spend an hour tuning to it, but you can pick
Right.
which one you unattune from. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'll let
'Cause-
Makes sense.
Isn't the rule like if someone else attunes to the item, it automatically unattunes from you?
Yes.
So like, how does that affect them? You're like, you're old. Yeah. Arguing with a book.
No, I would say if someone else attunes to an item that you are currently attuned to, you just lose attunement with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will attune to the horned ring. Then I'll spend the hour. I feel like it's not a bad idea, especially if we're going to be coming back up here or any kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, I could go ahead and figure out what the heck this cape is too.
These armor sets are magic too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I've got
Fake
an hour
magic.
while Bertie's doing his thing, so I can, if you all want to keep exploring, I can do the armor sets and this cape.
I feel like you should just maybe do one, because the other one probably is a mirror.
Probably do what? Oh, for the armor?
Yeah, like they're probably the same. Like I don't know.
When you looked at
But
them,
you've
they
got
were
the
like
time
the
to
same
kill.
school of magic and whatnot.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Birdie will slide off his winged boots and he starts putting them in his bag,
Oh.
and he'll slide the ring on his finger, kind of start playing with it. You familiar?
Yeah, and I will start with the cape and then do the armor.
Okay. So you kind of pull up a seat, start futzing around with it. I would say you don't have to sit still, like sitting, but you're up and using the thing and focusing on it, trying to learn how to use it. But you're ritually casting your spell.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, right, because that only takes like 11 minutes.
It's
Then
1
I would say,
minute
yeah,
plus
you
10.
probably like sit down and put yourself in contact with it. Yeah. So Birdie's doing his thing. Galtar's doing his thing. What are the rest of you doing?
Are we just waiting?
We could open
For
another
Birdie,
door. I
or-
think there's
I
one
think
more.
we should open a door.
Rita's gonna sit down next to Birdie.
Call if you feel like opening a door. I got your back.
All right.
Okay. Just go to the south one. All right, yeah, key works. And this time as the door cracks open, you hear activity. You hear the rustling of parchment, and you hear like a metallic sort of, almost like a rusty wheel being turned.
Pull out my swords before I push the door in.
Those of you standing behind Kala, as she pushes this door, you hear the groaning of the old hinges, and you see such a strange sight beyond. In this room, there are two rectangular wooden tables kind of separating the center of the space. And on either side, up against the wall, are tall, almost looks like old library card catalogs, like a big cabinet with just like lots of pull-out drawers. There's also one opposite you, Kala, on the south wall, and you see a couple of what look like wicker baskets, just full of what look like sheaves of parchment. On the tables, you see these mechanical, like wooden presses, where, if you imagine like the T-shape, like a dynamite press from a cartoon, where someone's like turning it, and it's pressing down on a wooden thing, and there's a little like a trough kind of hung off the edge of the table, catching excess water. There are also mortars and pestle on each table, and you see some of these things like float through the air and then settle, and then the mortar and pestle start grinding more as these like levers are twisted and turned and presses are pressed. You appear to be in a parchment making facility, and occasionally you see some of the drawers are pulled out and like little vials are brought over, and the pestles are emptied into it, and then like little vials of liquid are poured in, and they are raised into the air and shaken by invisible entities. And it seems like there are several unseen servants in this room bustling back and forth in the business of making parchment for the wizard.
Well, dreams do come true.
He has his pervert sex room and then his cute little workshop and like the other.
Yeah, first floor better than second floor.
I don't know. There was
For
the
sure.
skull.
That's true. But it was nice until you just asked it about itself.
And honestly,
A lot like a fundraiser.
Guess I'll step into the room just a little, see what happens. They keep working.
Step in, like one of the bottles is kind of moving towards you, and it just walks around your space and continues on. They just pay you no mind.
Anything written on any of the pages, or they're all fresh?
Fresh. Yeah, you see, like in one corner on the baskets, there are pieces kind of being gently folded over and placed in neat stacks.
While we're looking in there, I pop see invisibility. I'm just
You get
curious.
the vague outline of like 6 unseen servants just walking around. They're not even like fully humanoid shaped. It's just a vague outline.
They are the laziest unseen servant creations I've ever seen.
Okay.
Not very well defined, but they're doing their job, I guess. More slapdash. He's clearly elementals were his show, not people.
And I guess even
Yes,
that he didn't
just
invent.
making paper. Just start moving towards the other door.
Okay.
Yeah, this room is boring. I bet Galatar would like it though.
Is the room open? Because I can't see any. But I don't know if it's
Oh,
just my
sorry,
thing.
no.
That's it.
Yeah,
That
I
was my
couldn't
bad.
see
any
okay.
either.
I didn't do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's
I
my
kind of
bad.
left before her.
I was like, I want to know what this cool room looks like.
Cool.
Also, how nice is the parchment? Are we talking like high quality or just like low quality note paper?
It's usable parchment. Like it's perfectly good. It's not like Saborhan wood fancy parchment.
Gotcha.
But still, for a place that makes its own parchment, I mean,
Yeah, I bet he didn't even enchant this.
All right. So you go to the next door. Key works fine.
I'll push this door open.
All right. As you hear this door, the sound echoes a bit more. This room is largely barren. In the center of this circular chamber stands a tall archway of rough-hewn stones, each carved with arcane sigils. On the right-hand side, one stone stands out about an inch above the rest, more flat than the others, but not perfectly so. And in the center of its carved sigil is a handprint in faded reddish-brown color, centered on what looks like a small, jagged, razor-thin chip of obsidian. That is all.
Is anything magical when I pop some detect magic in there?
The archway does have an aura of magic. I would say conjuration.
I don't know what this is. I don't think I can do anything with it.
I'll step in. But
Yeah.
not. Yeah, just kind of look at
And
it.
it's a quiet. It is well lit. There are the same magical torches kind of ringing the walls, but there are no markings on the walls themselves. Just barren, smooth stone. Floor at your feet is perfectly level, well mortared. The archway itself is a little out of character. The stones are different. It's not the same strange, like heavy quartz of the tower itself. Yeah, there's just a stillness.
But it has this. For conjuration, like that's. Is that teleportation magic? I can't remember. I don't feel like that is. Oh, I guess it is.
Yeah, you got a spell list.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I had to look it up in my own list. I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, sure enough. Well, I think this might be maybe some way he used to teleport. Maybe it's an old magic. But yeah, I'm assuming I don't recognize any of the runes or anything.
These are just arcane runes. You I would say you know enough about Arcana to identify um, runes of conjuration,
Mm-hmm.
runes. I would say even of transposition, translocation. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be something Galatar can make more heads away since he actually uses that magic, but I
Yeah,
think
maybe.
it's not going to kill us at the very least.
Probably.
We just won't ask it where it came from since it's a different stone than the rest of the tower.
Mm.
You guys back out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd like to look closer at this statue. I don't
It
think
is magical.
anybody checked it out yet.
Now you guys take a close gander. Just looking at it, it's very well carved. It's eerie at first. The gown that she is wearing. She's tall. She looks like a noble humanoid woman. Her face is stern, not overly cheerful. Yeah, she seems to be like kind of holding her arms close to herself, but she does have in one hand is what looks like a big morning star, like a mace with a round head and spikes, but it's all, stone. Wings kind of expanded up behind her and also like bent down in a very kind of M-shaped artistic pose. It's a little eerie, Kala, as you walk. The eyes are carved in such a way that they seem to follow you. And as the rest of you do, it seems that way for you as well.
Or when does anything happen when you like touch it? I just start touching it.
Crawl up the 2 or 3 short steps to this dais, and you can see there's like some decorative carving. It's not a spell circle or anything really arcane. It's more on the order of like knotwork, scroll work on the dais. You reach up and you put a hand on the statue. The flowing robes that look almost lifelike on this statue. At the touch of your hand, they ripple as though a breeze had wafted across from them, and they are pulled taut, it would seem, against stony flesh beneath, and the imprint of humanoids shouting and screaming in the throes of agony are sort of like impressed from underneath, and I need you all to roll initiative. As the statue lurches to life.
So anyways, I was just waiting for this ring to kind of kick in. Oh shit!
Yeah, it hasn't by chance been 11 minutes, has it?
I would
So
say
it
at this
was
point
like,
your spell ends. Yeah.
This is the last thing in this whole damn
okay.
tower. We're like,
Cool.
let's just stare at this damn statue.
That's funny. I was like,
So can I know what the
this
thing
when you
is
touch it, it comes
as
to
we
life.
start this combat?
They are wings of flying. As an
Oh,
action,
not
you
what
can
I thought.
transform the
Ooh.
cape into a pair of bat wings, which is where his wings came from.
Okay, is this attuned or no?
Oh yeah.
Ah, damn.
All the
Oh,
good
that's
stuff.
what
You
it
guys
is.
are beyond the no attune bullshit anymore.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
You're
Look, man,
Definitely.
the problem is all the cool stuff is attunement. We have so limited slots. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a Was that a 1 on that?
That is still too loud. Tabletop audio, man, their audio can be overpowering. So yeah, you can use an action to speak the command word, turn them into a pair of wings for 1 hour, or until you repeat the command to make them go away. Once they disappear, you can't use them again for 1d12 hours.
Cool.
And they give you a flying speed of 60 feet.
Damn. Okay.
Oh crap. I gotta put you all in combat. I didn't add you to the tracker. Give me a moment to handle initiative.
At least we all had really good rolls.
Alright, Kala. 2, Keytree 19. Also your AC. Birdie 21. Ah, there it is. Okay. Arena 15.
Paige, if you're talking, we can't hear you right now.
Right now?
Now we can
Hear you now.
Okay. I think I had. Ooh, sorry. Never mind.
Saw your mouth moving. I was like, I do not hear her.
It's for your own good.
I mean, sometimes I'm
Okay.
shit talking and you don't need to hear me.
I had my
Alright.
something tucked under my laptop. Might have been the case.
I'll
I
do
rolled
it.
dick on initiative.
I mean, it's a good roll. It's
I
just
know that's what got me. It was like Birdie. Okay. Hop off. King.
Okay, so at the top of the round, Bertie, you spring into action, but at the start of your turn, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Me?
Stone.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make a charisma
Yes.
saving throw?
It's fairly low, so you'll probably make it.
Is it to be charmed?
Yes.
He
I
can't
am
be
still
charmed.
under mind blank. Cannot be
Yeah,
charmed.
he is.
Ah. This statue,
Nice
as
try,
Alexa
Ryan.
touches it, and the garments sort of ripple, it turns,
Dear cousin.
and you, being the aficionado of beauty that you are, recognize the angelic beauty of this statue's carving, notwithstanding the horrifying presence of what look like screaming statuesque figures sort of protruding from its flesh underneath the robes. But you are able to ignore that beauty. So that is your turn.
Well, that's not.
It
Okay.
is your
yeah.
turn. Yeah.
I was like, hold on now. I know I
Keytree's on
love
deck.
beauty, but okay. As my as my bonus action, I'll go ahead and pop off my majestic or unbreakable majesty, which I regained after a short rest. So that's the whole like kind of sanctuary deal. And so it's this thing. This thing is bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I will. Oh man, should I just go for it? All God's like big guns. I'd feel so bad. Hold on. Let me look this up real quick. I gotta see what. One sec. Is this? Okay. Everybody's like doing. I should hold on to that. Okay. I'm going to cast slow on this thing.
Okay.
It needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
It fails.
All right, it is slowed. So half speed, an affected creature -2 to AC and the dex saves, cannot use reactions. On its turn, it either gets an action or bonus action, not both. And regardless of its abilities or features or magic items, it can't make more than one attack in a round. And if it tries to cast a spell, we'll get into that when it happens. And then I am concentrating on that. Put the little concentrating guy on me. And I'm going to move away. I will 5, 10, 15, try to back up these stairs a bit.
Okay. And it gets no reactions.
Gets no reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And that is my turn, yeah.
That brings it to Kitri, and Galatar's on deck. Kitri, at the start of your turn, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh. I have advantage against being charmed, and
Then you
magic
have
can't put me to
advantage on
sleep.
this.
Okay, so it's charisma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have
it's
+0 on this, so
the
there's
force
no.
of your will to overcome the beauty of the statue, and you just pass. 13 is the DC.
Wow.
You see the statue coming. It turns to face Alexa, and its gaze kind of sweeps over you, and for a moment, your heart flutters, and you're almost overcome by the craftsmanship of this entity, but you're able to push through.
I have a mechanics question.
Mm-hmm.
So when this I don't want to call it creature. This thing we're fighting is 10 feet across.
It controls the space 10 feet across, so you can't move
Yes.
through that space.
Yes. But for the mechanics of Ice Knife, it shatters in a 5-foot
Any creature
space
within 5 feet of that
feet
creature.
of the creature. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like just.
It's a weird thing, because like if you hit a dragon, it's everything within 5 feet of the dragon, which makes no sense, but that's how the mechanic works.
Yeah. In that case, what does this do? Oh, I don't want that. Wow. I have a lot of. I didn't really prepare for anything to actually happen.
I wasn't sure if this was gonna happen today.
Well, more like when this whole thing started, like when on vacation, Kitri wasn't picking out, like, let's go fight a wizard and this weird angel thing spells. So I have a.
Yeah.
Suddenly
I
makes
have
you feel
to
good to have a permanently
Listen,
fit.
It's like
I
I
hit a
lulls you
creature.
into a false sense of security. I would never do that, though.
So that's why now I'm struggling to like decide what to do. But Kitri would definitely. She's gonna back up. I don't know why my character's flipping around now. She'll back up into this fun corner over here, and would this be considered a humanoid? Okay, because it's a statue. And oh, wait. Would it be considered a creature?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that doesn't do anything. Okay, never mind of that idea. And now I'm just talking to myself, guys. I'm so sorry. And I don't know, does the amulet have charges? Oh, it does. Cool. Well then, hell yeah. I'm going to cast, what's it called? We're gonna go at 4th level. I'm pretty sure we can cast it. Flaming Sphere.
Yeah. I actually have a token for that. Where do you want it?
Put it like in the space that's right next to Alexa, like right here.
Okay. I will say that I believe creatures within 5 feet of that take damage at some point. It should say that in the spell.
It says any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet.
Okay.
As a
Rena and
bonus
Alexa,
action.
you see this thing to life next to you, and you have a moment to move.
Okay, so then I've used my action to cast it. It says that for a bonus action you can move it.
Mm-hmm.
Would moving it be also the like action of like ramming it into like the statue?
I think so. Yeah, it says as a bonus action you can move it, and you can also ram. You can move it up to... When you move the spear, you can direct it over barriers. Yeah, sorry. As a bonus action, you can move it up to 30 feet. If you ram it into a creature, it must make a saving throw.
All right, then I will
Dex save.
effectively just try to move it.
Remember-
I guess mechanically, if it makes a saves, I want the sphere to end up here.
So you ram it into
but I will-
it, and it stops.
I want to ram the sphere. But if the angel makes the save, then it'll, I'm assuming, continue through the path, like to where I'm trying to send it.
When you move the sphere and like ram it into a creature, it hits and stops.
Okay,
And
but
it's
if it
just-
doesn't, if it makes the save, if the creature makes the save, does it also stop moving then?
It stops moving when a creature is caused to make the save, whether it succeeds or fails.
Okay, never mind. All right, go ahead
will
and
say
roll
it's-
a.
-2 on the dex save because of slow.
It is a dex save.
Thank you for that reminder. So that is a 16 because he rolled an 18.
Well, then he gets to take damage because
Oh, yeah.
it was 18, but with the
Bard coming into action.
So
and he's gonna
2d6
take
fire.
4d6 because I'm upcasting it at 4th level.
Tight.
So 15 points of damage.
Yeah.
And that will be my turn. So sorry.
Not at all. I will say, by the way, Birdie and Kedri, since you passed your save, you are immune to its charm effect for 24 hours. Which brings it to Galatar, and Kala's on deck. And Galatar, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
All right, my -1 charisma save.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
That is a grand total of 10.
He's going in the bag.
You are charmed as this creature kind of turns away
Uh-huh.
from the flaming sphere to look at the rest of you. These faces and forms like shifting underneath it, underneath its robes. You are charmed by the statue.
Mhm.
You can repeat that save at the end of each of your turns, ending it on a success. So at the end of your turn, you can make it again. Which seems
Okay, so I'm just charmed by it, and I can't attack it or do anything like that, right?
correct.
Okay. Would it still be okay for me to go into my blade song like I had planned to do, or would?
Yeah, because it doesn't target it.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know if that'd be like, oh, you're considering it a threat. Okay.
I'll leave that up to you, because you don't consider it a threat right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I won't do that. Cool. I guess I won't do anything.
All right.
So I'll just end my
Make
turn,
your
I guess.
Charisma save again, because it's the end of your turn.
That is an 18 -1 for a 17.
So now all of a sudden there's this momentary fog, and then you come out of it.
Yeah, immediately as my turn's over, realize the bad decision I made.
Wait a minute.
Alright.
All right. Brings it to Kala, and Alexa's on deck. Kala, if you'll make your charisma save. 15. All right, yeah, you're good. Push through.
All right, I would like to bonus action take aim. and try to stab it.
Okay.
Please stab the statue.
28 will hit. Yep.
46 damage. That's the end of my turn.
Also -2 the AC. Don't forget, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, the 28 blew it far and well away.
You know, just in case.
Make it a little overkill.
Kala,
Yeah.
the angel's kind of turning around and taking its bearings, getting an eye on the battlefield. You manage to take that opportunity to thrust your blade up, and it is made of stone, but you hit it, and like the blade bites deep, but it is made of stone, so it is pretty resilient. But you did chunk it, and like a nasty like sliver of stone cracks and kind of flakes off, and a shower of sparks flies off one side.
Attacks against it have advantage until the start of my next turn.
Alright, that brings it to Alexa, and Brina's on deck. And Alexa, if you'll make your charisma saving throw.
Is this a magic effect? Or is this just like some sort of innate ability that
I would
it
say
has?
it doesn't say it's magical.
Okay, I do not
It's
have
an innate
advantage,
thing.
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you make it anyway, and you're immune for 24 hours. So you are also able to push through this.
I will run 5, 10, 15, 20 to put some distance away from me in the group, because I'm going to quicken a firebolt. So I'm going to shoot 2 firebolts at it. Are all attacks at advantage? So both attacks? Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Oh no.
The 18 will hit, the 13 will not.
-2 to the AC?
Yeah.
Just checking. Okay. Oh no.
But there's no one around me. That's why I ran away.
Golly.
But the 17 damage, at least that'll hit then.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
17 fire damage. And that will end my turn. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Streak of flame crashes into it, and there is a cracking of the stone beneath that. Nice. That brings it to Brina. Brina, if you'll make your charisma saving throw.
I'm -1.
Yeah.
You are charmed.
Dang.
just
Damn, this statue's
overcome.
sexy.
You can move, and you can use the abilities and features, but you currently do not see this as a threat. You're just enamored of it.
She doesn't like let go of her sword, but she definitely lowers her weapon. And it's like, let me get a better look at this statue. She's making a compelling argument. Well,
You'll want to move 5
Okay.
feet away from the fireball.
will I?
Yes.
Oh,
You
You're
still
not charmed by the fire.
right? Yeah, no, you still feel really toasty where you're at.
okay.
I mean,
Okay.
it is up to you. I don't want to play your character. I'm sorry.
No,
but-
you're correct.
Yeah, you do see this flaming sphere that's 5 feet across, burning in the air next to you.
Great. The sphere can stay there. That'll be my really good turn.
All right,
Try this charisma save again.
make another charisma save. It's the end of your turn.
I love it.
Son of a bitch.
Ha!
I'm gonna have to look up at the mechanics behind this, because that doesn't. I guess you could potentially like lose a turn, which is cool.
I mean, you did.
But yeah,
But
I mean,
it
it's
has
like
another ability that relies on people being charmed. Although it's a lower CR, so
Aw.
yeah, whatever.
it's
I'll
disrupting.
tell you guys
Are
about
Are
this
you
later.
are you mad because your charms didn't work? Welcome
Little
to
bit.
my life.
Well, hey, 3 of them worked earlier, and they were really good ones.
Well, any pleb, you know, like I can ruin their day, but
I'm in the vampire ones.
they weren't
All
vampires. They were
immune.
just people who were charmed, right?
I know they charmed us. He charmed us.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, oh yeah. He doesn't know
Some
my
of
pain,
us.
is what you're saying.
Right, I kept my mouth shut.
He doesn't understand yet.
Alexa
But he
picked up
will.
on what was going on.
So yeah, I would say it is going to reach up with its free hand, and you watch this This shimmering lance of arcane force form brings its arm crashing to the ground toward you, Kala, having done the most damage to it. And that will hit with a 22.
Brings the reaction.
Yes, you may.
Oh, or it's a friend.
Does this have?
You know,
Well,
she
it's not. I'm
broke
not
through the
charmed
charm.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am so slow.
Caca. Is this still with advantage? Because it's before Kala's turn. Yeah.
Yes, it's before Kala's turn. So,
Sexy.
Kala, you take 27 force damage.
Ooh.
Uncanny dodge.
And I need you to make a strength saving throw. As the impact of this thing shakes you to your core. 15 will not hit, Rena.
With the
unfortunately.
-2 to AC?
It would be
Oh.
a 16 with the -2.
Damn, okay.
16, Kala, the force of this impact just knocks you on your ass. You go prone. And
Cool.
it
I love Dungeons and Dragons.
will move a little bit.
At
Oh,
half
yeah.
speed. Half speed,
It
recall.
just takes a step to get away from the flaming sphere.
Okay.
I thought the statue just had to stay there.
Nope, it is mobile.
Drat.
It does get to remake its wisdom at the
Okay.
end of its turn if your wisdom save.
That's all I can do with
Yeah.
being slowed like that. 15.
Not even close. No.
No. That brings it to the top of the round, Birdie.
Okay, so I am still concentrating on this. But I'll come out here. Kala hasn't had her turn yet, so this would be an advantage, right? Attacks are at
Correct.
advantage still. Yeah, I'll take a blast at it with my Inquest Persuader.
Okay. 26 will hit.
26, hell yeah. 11 force damage.
There's this crack and like a big chunk of it kind of blows off over the top of Kala's head, smashing into the wall, peppering it with little shards of stone.
Yeah. And I'll use my bonus action. I'll give as I step up there. I'll give Brina a pat on the behind, and say, "Go get him, Chief." And I'll give her Bardic Inspiration. You've got a D12 that you can spend, and then I will
Funny.
back up the stairs. That'll be my turn. You got this, champ.
All right, that brings it to Kitri, and Galatar's on deck.
I will go ahead and use my bonus action to move the sphere and try to slam it into the angel thing.
Absolutely. That is a dirty 20.
Well, I don't.
I think they
-2 to the deck saves.
should be an 18.
Just that.
So it would just pass.
Oh.
Because 18 is
Close.
my save DC.
Oh, half
Half
as
as
much
much
on
on
a
a-
successful
half.
save. Yeah,
So I'm gonna roll for
Absolutely.
the.
roll high.
Oh. So 9.
Hey. Yeah. The flaming sphere hurtles closer. You can actually put it there so it doesn't hurt Brina.
That would be good. And then. Actually, well, we're all looking fine. If someone else is prone, like, I can't like get Kala up. She has to do that herself, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm not gonna be useful there. Okay. In that case, can I do that still? No, because that's sorry. All right. I will use my action to cast Oh, that's not a save though. Sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna cast Shillelagh on my staff, and I'll take like a. I'll move. I'll move over here next to Kala as my
Shillelagh a
movement.
bonus action or an action?
It's a bonus action, I believe.
Nope, it's one bonus action.
Yes. So to move the sphere is a bonus action.
So I can't use Shillelagh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird.
And ability checks are different than saves. Oh. As an action, then, I will cast Bless
Dope.
on 3 creatures of your choice within range. So Galatar, Kala, and Brina will receive Bless.
All right.
So you can add a d4 to saving throws and attack rolls.
Sweet.
Fucking light on there.
Yeah. All right. Is that your turn?
Yes.
All right. Galatar's up and Kala's on deck.
All right, I am going to bonus action form a blade of radiant light in my hand at 5th level. And then I'm going to take a swipe at it, and that's still with advantage because Kala hasn't gone yet, correct?
Correct.
Cool. Okay. Whew. Thank goodness for the advantage. So it's a 19. I don't guess I need to roll that. 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, and that's 48 radiant damage plus 4. So it's 9, 11, 15, 18 points of radiant damage on the first one.
Heavy hit.
And then I'll do the same thing again. Okay. Ooh, and a crit on the second one.
Fantastic.
That's 48. 7, 1, 8, 10, 16 plus 4, so that's 20 before the crit damage.
Plus 32.
Plus 32 radiant damage. Yeah.
How much is that total?
Hold on. 2, 7, sorry, 8, 10, 16, 20 plus 32, 52 points of radiant damage.
Damn. As the ball of fire slams into the angel's back, it staggers for a second, kind of hunches downward as it's getting its balance. You gather it's not really steady on these stone legs. And Galatar just takes 2 power swipes with his radiant blade and just shears the wings off the statue. Just come crashing down to the ground.
Ooh.
Shatter and kind of fracture into loose stone. It's looking really rough after that.
Right. I assume Kala's gonna kill it, so I'm not gonna back up. I'm just gonna stay where I am, and that'll be my turn.
All right. That brings it to Kala.
I'm gonna stand up. Am I flanking with Brina?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will stab it again.
Oh,
19 will hit. $33. Is that accurate?
33. Yeah.
Only 33.
How do you want to
Oh.
do this?
Oh.
Cut its head off.
Yeah, the wings come off, shing, shing, and as it kind of rears back, it staggers in your direction, trying to right itself, and as the head swings towards you, you're just like, oh shit, there we go. Whop, and there's just this resounding crack. The head separates, and Kala and Kitri and Alexa, you see just momentarily this expression of puzzlement on the face as it careens through the air, and then it hits the ground and just shatters into a dozen pieces. There's an almighty crack of thunder outside the tower, and that's that.
I cut its head off is never not good. Every time it happens, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
It's my go-to when people don't have a finish prepared.
Absolutely.
It's a fun one.
Let's go off.
Also, you can just never trust statues in towers.
It was such fine craftsmanship. I couldn't
They
help but touch
attack
it.
us all the time. I don't know why.
Oh no, how could this have happened?
Yeah. I wonder if Birdie had been wearing the ring and touched if it would have attacked. I would assume not. I don't know.
I guess we'll never know.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, real glad I'm attuning to this.
I would say you gathered no. It wouldn't have offered that kind of protection.
Oh, mystery solved.
What else did we need to do on this floor now? I guess that we don't have a statue trying to kill us.
Magic
anything
armor and a magic stone thing.
A magic stone.
Stone.
You know, I'll go back to
Ring.
attuning my.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Galtar, now that you're up, the room in the southeast.
Oh,
Stone
the archway.
Cool. Looking at the runes, I know Alexa saw conjuration magic.
Conjuration, translocation.
Mm-hmm.
Do these runes look similar to what one might do if, say, they were casting a circle of teleportation? Like similar?
Similar,
runes?
but not the same.
Not the same. Okay. Yeah, heck with it. I'll try and go in here and go around to the side very carefully. So I'm like gonna step in and then just kind of like very carefully make my way around.
The rest of
to
the
the
room
side of
is sparse. There's nothing. It's just solid, smooth stone all around you. The only thing that stands out is on the if you're looking from the doorway at the arch, on the right side, about halfway up, there is one stone that kind of sticks out about an inch above the rest, and it's not perfectly smooth, but it's flatter than the others. It has a large rune on it like all the others do, but in the center of that rune is this little triangular chip of razor sharp obsidian surrounded by a handprint in like a dull rust brown color.
So looks like maybe some sort of blood magic.
Given what you've seen so far, it's a reasonable conclusion.
Yeah, everything here seems to be blood magic everywhere in this world. Yeah, I guess rather than try and like figure it out by use, I'll just try and kind of cast identify on it ritually again and play it safe.
Okay.
So as not to fuck with things that we don't know about.
Are the rest of you doing anything while Galatar takes a knee and identifies this?
I'll just be back to attuning to my ring here.
Cool.
Join Birdie and look at his cool ring. What you got?
It's got like horns on it, so when I'm in a bad mood, I'll twist it around so I can, get him.
Wow, that's really fucked up.
Crime and punishment, you know what I mean?
Did you? Okay, if you took the winged boots off, do you have any other shoes?
Oh yeah, he's wearing I would say he always has a fashionable pair of shoes. But two, he's wearing his cape of the dandy, which can create any outfit. So I think it just like shoes kind of appear on his feet.
All right, illusory magic, not
So
necessary.
those are illusory shoes. So as you walk over the broken
Got socks on.
stone statue,
No, I would say he has probably like a discreet pair of shoes.
pair of silk slippers.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Or moccasins.
Because you can cover them up with magic.
Still walking a little gingerly over the broken shards of stone now.
He always walks gingerly.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
So yeah, after about 11 minutes, your spell finishes sort of digesting the information for you, Galatar. This is an ancient structure that can act as a doorway between this plane of existence and an adjacent one. The gate itself is activated by a blood sacrifice, a significant sacrifice, using the apparatus on the stone. Such a sacrifice will open the gate for about a minute, at which point it will close.
When we say substantial, would one incur like
It would be
somebody would
dangerous
die?
for a normal commoner. For one of
Oh,
you,
Oh.
it will hurt, but it won't threaten your life.
okay. You said substantial, and I was like, so
Right.
we'd
I'm
immediately
like,
die, or okay?
baby.
Human sacrifice, I would
Adults.
say. Cool.
If you picked up some like hayseed farmer and brought him in here, they'd probably die. But you
Okay,
guys would be
yeah,
fine.
gotcha.
I love
So I guess question real quick about the way this works. Am I able to determine if like how it connects to that plane? Like, do I just choose an adjacent plane of existence
It
by
is a
thinking
fixed
about it?
destination.
Oh, okay. So it has a fixed.
Yeah, it only has one setting, on or off.
Oh God, you know I'm gonna put my hand on that. I mean, we just gotta. Do you want to mind just if I put my hand on this thing? I just kind of want to open it up and see what plane it connects to. But it just connects to another plane. No big deal or anything.
ooh.
I'm wondering if maybe it connects to that plane that the hot tub connected to. If like there's some sort of, I don't know, like a thin veil here or a
Hot tub
thinner
plane
veil
connection.
here in Garanov.
If it's
Was
someplace
Garen hot?
dangerous, can you close it?
It would be open for a total of a minute, but I'd have the ability to. I mean, I've still got spells that I could like throw up a wall of force or something to block such things from coming through.
I'm for it.
I will just stand.
It
on
seems
the
pretty
top of the
dangerous,
spine.
but
For sure, dangerous, but you know, I mean, it's like an ancient tower with a ancient stone archway that connects to
And
another
plus-
dimension.
right, we-
So
We don't even know where these other planes are.
and
This is something brand new.
probably in the journal or something.
yeah, but that's gonna take a long time to read through. I mean, I could just
Sometimes, like,
stick my hand on this, I'll bleed a little bit,
physical
then the doorway
science is the
opens.
fastest.
Do you want to like have your crossbow ready or something, Carl, in case there was something bad? Like you could just immediately
I mean, I
snipe
guess I
it.
could stand off to the side a little.
Yeah.
Are
Cool.
we sure do we want to open the plane?
Too late.
Now, can I ask this? Can I ask this? Can I ask
Already.
this? Please.
Throws
please.
my hand on there.
Put your hand on the thing.
No.
Yeah. I would have like as soon as I got Carla's confirmation. Yeah, she was the only one I cared about having on board for this.
As you press your hand, it hurts like hell, and you see like a sliver of this obsidian poke out between the tendons on the back of your hand.
Yeah, I want to
Like,
use
it
my
is
left
a
hand, my
nasty
non-writing
cut.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do that, and it hurts like hell.
Yeah. How many hit
Takes
points?
6 piercing damage.
Oh.
A commoner only has like 4 or 5 hit points.
Yeah, that would have killed
Yeah,
me.
that, I mean, it makes
You're
sense.
like,
Normal,
almost
like
need
it would have been like
cardiac
cutting your
penalty.
wrist and bleeding all over it. Yeah. You have taken more serious injuries before, and thus are able
Yeah.
to withstand the shock. Your body doesn't immediately start passing out.
Gotcha.
You all watch as Galantar thrusts his hand onto this little yelp of pain and lots of blood. But the moment the blood splashes on the stone, there is an almost electrical crackle inside the archway. And what you see is still just the stone of the chamber beyond, but everything in the archway is like seen through a distorted kind of grayish filter, and as you kind of like look through and move your view, it's almost like everything is distorted, almost like there were flames between you and it, but they're not like orange and flickering. It's like the material of the thing is tearing. For a modern day visual, think of like when Frodo puts on the One Ring,
Ooh.
and everything's sort of like torn and distorted.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Huh. It's like a shadowy sort of realm.
Yeah, it's I would say it's not quite so dark. It's a little more like foggy.
Hmm. Okay.
But there is a sort of haze and a weird like tearing distortion on things.
If I stick my head through, like,
And you guys
And go-
watch as Galantar gets a little closer, and
Yeah, when I stick my head through, is it still like that same haziness, or upon like
Yes,
sticking your head through,
as
does the
you
whole
no,
visual
as
change?
you put your head in, it all looks like that, including now like beside and on the other side of the arch as you're kind of looking up and around. That seems to
Oh.
be the norm inside whatever plane
You
this
can come
is.
back without a head.
Alexa, what do you need to make a tuning fork?
Time, a lot of time, and
Yeah, but like, do you need material components of any kind?
Not necessarily. You've been through the process before. I think someone helped you make the prime.
Colinar. Yeah, it's a specific resonance.
Yeah,
Like
it's,
I
it's
assume you
more
have
the
to,
resonance of the steel
and you have to
or the material.
understand it from the plane. But I I have plane shift still left. I could go all the way in.
I
I mean,
mean,
if you would want to go in and explore, I am not going to turn down that opportunity if we could then get out.
I bet I can only shift back to Garenhof. I'm not gonna try and shift back to the tower because that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, that would be fun.
This all seems like a bad idea.
well, hold on. Either you're
That's
little.
true too.
Well, I
Yes.
guess. Okay.
But nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Well, all right.
Well, also, like, I mean, I'm super curious because if this is as old as the tower, what if this is like a plane the Seers interacted with? In which case, like, I don't know what's
All
helpful
of the seers
mysteries could be
dead.
here.
Oh,
Well,
plus
they
if I
were
go
killed
in
by the
there,
Mersot, so I feel like they were on the good side, you know?
Maybe it's the worst.
Not necessarily good, but
Does
Less
what's on the
bad.
other side look familiar to any of us?
It just looks like the other side of the arch.
Oh, we didn't do the sacrifice.
Yeah, we didn't do the sacrifice. Hmm.
also, I'm the only one who can see.
No, like you all see this effect. It's just like looking through a filter inside the arch. It's slightly discolored and distorted, but otherwise it looks just like what you're seeing normally.
So this doesn't
Also, it
look
still
like...
looks like the room through the arch.
Mhm.
Oh,
Point.
okay.
The gateway closes.
oh, ballsack.
God damn.
All right.
Lasts for a minute.
So it doesn't look like when a portal was opened into Squid Face Land. It doesn't look like a totally different place.
Yeah, it just looks like this room.
I don't think it worked. That didn't
No,
look like another place to me.
Well, it's an adjacent plane, so I don't know how. I'm not like Colinar level proficient in planar transport. Maybe Alexa could elaborate, but if it's an adjacent plane, perhaps it's just very similar in nature.
We don't really know anything about the planes other than there apparently are some, and there are more, and there's lots, and there's this one. So, yeah, I mean, if I can. Well, I hate to ask, actually, if I'm going through, do you mind stabbing yourself again?
Oh yeah, no, because I wanted to walk through it anyway, and then see if I could see like Cola and everybody else, because then we would know if it were.
You've got, the 60
So-
seconds.
Yeah, do you want to come through with me just in
Yeah.
case something were to happen, so that we'd be able to teleport out?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I will once again stab my very poor left hand.
Oh,
Yeah, you give it another slap, and again,
Sure
it
do.
hurts.
can you do like
6 more
foot
points?
instead?
6 more this time.
Okay.
And yeah, again, the gate forms, and there's this strange distortion.
If we walk through the thing and then attempt to look at where Cole and the others are, I assume they're no longer there.
You guys step into the arch. You
Yeah.
guys all watch them kind of step in, and they are now sort of discolored and distorted that way. And as you all turn around and look back, Kala and the group, it's kind of like if you're underwater and you're looking out of the water, you're still seeing through that distortion. So now everything behind you is sort of similarly discolored and kind of torn at the edges.
If I come in and walk around,
Ooh.
Kala, as you break the plane
Are
around
they,
the back
like,
of the
here?
arch, they are not there.
they're not there. Okay.
Mm.
We don't
And
see
you
them.
guys watch Kala like head behind the arch, and as she passes behind the stone, you don't see her emerge on the other side. She's big enough, you should.
Do I see
Yeah.
them through it, or the backside doesn't work?
As you look through the arch from the back, it's just like you're looking at your friends normally.
Okay.
Ryan is
Other Harry Potter reference. The Sirius Black falls through the thing. Yeah,
through the veil.
through the veil.
This is just a Harry Potter tower.
Galtar and Alexa just dead.
Yeah, we're permanently gone. Is this store like, so as I go through and then look back where Kala had been standing, is this door open like it was from our previous engagement, or is this door closed in this plane?
It's open.
It's open. Oh.
And the visual is still the same in terms of what is actually in the
you
room.
see the cauldron, the desk. You even see like the shattered remnants of the skull on the floor.
Uh-huh.
But it's all like kind of hazy and distorted.
Can I try? I want to try and like knock something off the desk in the room with the skull.
So as you do you go back through the arch or do you go around the arch?
No, I go around the arch. So as not to stay in this plane, I want to see if I can
as you-
interact with
as
the
you move
physical
around
object.
the arch,
Wow, the claw.
all of your other like you can now you can see your friends. You can see Kala.
Oh, I can see
That
Kala.
was my mistake. Kala can't see you, but you do see Kala.
Oh, this is Frodo Baggins. Okay.
So yeah, as you walk around the arch,
Gotcha.
all of your friends are visible to you. You guys standing in the room, you watch Galatar like move out of frame around the arch, and he just disappears.
And then can I interact? Like if I guess I'm gonna have to pass through like Kala to get to this room.
As you go towards Kala, you step right through her.
Oh, that's
You go to like touch the door to kind of move it out of your way a little bit, and your hand just goes right
Uh-huh.
into it.
okay.
So is this like what would happen if I activated the etherealness on?
Have you done that?
I think so for something.
No, I don't
Don't
remember. You doing
remember.
that.
Yeah, I don't recall
This is really
any
crazy.
etherealness
You-
before.
You attuned to the item, and you
Yeah.
knew you had the ability to slip beneath the
Hmm.
skin of the world, the way the Mersat once did. You gather it could be the same thing.
Oh.
Try it. Try
Kala
it.
goes
try
to the
it.
shadow realm.
I'm not attuned to it right now.
Yes.
Ah, boo.
Speaking of everything we have.
So also, I guess I should ask, because this will depend on how quickly I need to hurry. Is there a similar handprint space on the backside of the arch from this realm, or no? Like, does
there's
it look
none
like
on
the portal is
backside,
two-way?
no.
Okay. And then if I go back up to the front and try and put my hand on that again, I'm assuming it just passes right through. Cool. Then I will head back through.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay. You guys just
What?
step out of the portal as it closes it behind you. Cutting it down. to the wire.
So, yeah. So the plane, everything is still the same, with the exception that we could pass through and the object and can't physically interact.
Dang,
Yes.
that's pretty crazy.
And then we know, like, aside from just Kala's equipment, we know the stories of like the Mersat being able to do.
You've
like
read
the
those
ethereal
several
thing.
tablets now, and yeah.
Let me ask, since I have True Sight and I've used it a few times, would I have any idea to think that that is the ethereal realm that I can see into?
I would say with your
Hmm.
experience in that realm, yes.
Okay.
This
Oh.
functions very much as the border ethereal.
Dang.
So, are the Seers known to have had the similar ability to the Mersat Run? Is that something that is at all known?
The seers were powerful and very mysterious. Not a great deal is known about the depth of their capabilities, but they were a sister civilization to the Mersat. The relationship there is a little murky. The two cultures warred against one another for a
Mhm.
very long time. There aren't a lot of historical documents surviving about that, but the few seers who survived into modernity were able to briefly recall bits of lore for scholars that didn't really nothing that you're familiar with has explained whether this would be in their capability or not.
So, but I wonder how they would get back through, because there wasn't a way on the other side. So unless you're somebody like Alexa who could plane shift, I don't
That's
know
right,
how
I just
anybody
realized
would
we didn't try to cast magic.
walk through. Oh,
Did you really
Do it
stack yours a
again.
third time?
absolutely do.
All right, well, fuck
You
you.
just-
Let's go.
He just pointed
bitches!
out that we didn't test something. I mean, you gotta just while you're at it. 6, 7, 8. How many hit points?
Just
4.
4.
Just 4. Okay,
Yeah,
even
it's
better.
It's 1d4 plus 2.
Oh. Oh, so I just got the maximum damage.
Yeah,
the
it
first
just rolled,
times.
rolled hot twice. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right
So
into
when we
some
go
building.
back through
A
and
bunch of
cast a
wizards doing that
spell,
shit. Magic users are weird.
No more scientists
Your,
in
your
the
magic
company.
functions
Okay.
in the ethereal plane.
Yeah,
You
we
does-
like shoot off a couple
You can't
fireballs.
affect things in the prime.
but our spells can affect each other in the ethereal.
The two of you, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say we like prestidigitate each other.
Oh no, it sounds very freaky for wizards.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks. First I put a ring on Birdie's finger, now this. Love life is skyrocketing.
You're cheating in the ethereal realm.
As you're kind of moving around the
Doesn't
space
count if it's zip
in
code.
the ethereal, like it
True.
drags on you a bit. So every foot of movement in the ethereal costs an extra foot. Because it takes a little more effort to kind of move through the murkiness of this. But as you're sort of experimenting around, you find that you are not limited to three-dimensional gravitational travel. You can walk up, you can walk down through the floor. You can move in any dimension that you please.
Oh shit!
You can see and hear your friends, but it all looks kind of gray, and you also you can't see anything more than I'd say you probably wouldn't notice this because nothing in the tower is very far away from you. You and Alexa can affect each other, but your allies on the material plane can't perceive you and can't interact with you. Unless something like your special ability, Alexa, were to give you that ability.
So should we see that if it does close within a minute or whatever, if we could just walk back through, or if it's if it's not open, you can't go through regardless? Because I don't know how in the world they would what would be the purpose of this? Because if you can plane shift, you wouldn't need it to begin with.
Make an Arcana check, the both of you.
Yeah, so maybe for ease of use or
Ooh,
those
32.
who can't. Yeah, so you're whoop my ass on this one. 23.
23.
We got the
Very good,
inverse. I like that.
Yeah. Combined, we got a 55. What's that worth, Ryan?
First question, do you have this conversation in the ethereal, or do you go back through before the portal closes?
I think in the.
I think we would in the ethereal. I mean, we know we
Yeah.
can shift out now.
Yeah,
We
we're
get
not
lost
super
in
afraid.
conversation.
So the rest of you are watching Alexa and Galtar cast some spells and then stand there and talk, but you can't hear them. You can only see them through the archway, and if you move around to the side, you can't see them anymore. So you kind of keep an eye on them, and eventually the portal just closes, and they're still on the other side. But as you two kind of sit and talk, bouncing ideas off each other, Alexa, your people are inventors. They're experimenters. Galatar, you are trained in arcane research through experimentation, through trial and error, through development and study. All magic started somewhere. People who practiced magic practiced it. Before they learned the spells, they had to develop them. And sometimes developing new magic meant using devices of arcane power, like stone circles, or massive ritual temples, or entire complexes or cities built on places of power to augment the caster's meager infantile abilities. This would seem to be something like that is built for a single simple purpose for people who are not yet able to cast it kind of willy-nilly. This is early magic.
Okay.
Truly ancient.
So maybe it was like a buddy system. Someone would go through and do the work and then come back at a predetermined time, and someone on the outside would open it for
Yeah.
them.
That's a good point. Either buddy system or like a you better learn to fly very quickly kind of deal, you know, like just kick them out of the nest.
Also true. I could see that. Yeah. Depends
Yeah.
on your school of hard knocks, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what their culture was like, but so if we try and walk back to the back of it, nothing happens, I'm assuming, right?
Through the arch?
Yeah, like if I try and
You
walk
just-
through
you
it.
just walk through it and
Okay,
walk through it just
so I
like you're in the
figured.
room. Yeah.
Oh, this is fascinating.
You see your friends kind of standing around.
We like try to go get them, or they'll
Like,
figure it out.
I don't know.
They're just gone.
How? Yeah, they might just be gone.
here's just down 2 people.
We're gonna have to
We'll just roll new
rebrand.
characters.
Yeah.
Trollskull
Hey.
4.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we hear them? I know they can't
I'm
hear us.
observant. I can read lips. Oh, but I guess it's hazy and shit, so I can't
Little bit.
really
You-
read
you
lips.
get the gist that they're talking about what to do.
Yeah.
You can hear the
But we
shit
can't
talking
hear them
about
or
things,
anything at
don't
all.
worry about
You,
it.
you can hear them.
Oh,
Actually,
so
yes.
we can
Sorry.
hear them
Oh,
on our
you,
side.
You
Oh.
can see and hear them,
Oh, I missed that part.
but they
Yeah.
can't see you.
Yeah, fuck those guys though.
They just look distorted.
Well, now we
It
know
was
what they
not
really
the
think of us.
best idea.
Oh, you know what
Put that
I
on
can?
their
I can try
tombstones, just
Galatar,
as like a memorial thing.
and
What?
I will sending Birdie. Hey, Birdie, we can see you and hear you.
Okay, where
There
where
is
the
a
hell are
5%
you?
chance it'll fail. I don't know who wants to roll
Ooh.
that.
But you're good.
So yeah, it comes through to you then.
Okay. Well, what do you want me to do about it? Like, where the hell are you?
Yeah, he wasn't a good person to ask. There's no way he's putting his blood on that
I'm
stone.
not fucking stabbing my hand through that fucking
Oh,
gate.
that's more to just.
Are you
I guess that was
insane?
a waste of
That
a
looks
spell.
so painful. And Galatar
Unless it
is-
was like
I've
for
done
some
it, like,
Gucci
4
Gucci
times.
stuff, he would not. Absolutely not.
What the
Galatar was
fuck?
like, "Oh, what happens if I do it again?" Just,
I think Brina should do it.
Well, I can either send a few more messages or we can just shift back to Garenhof.
And we can see what they do. It'd be interesting.
Brina,
Plus,
I
I've got to
bet-
finish wrapping my very bloody hand. I
Are
mean,
they?
it is
Are they
really
like
boring.
stuck?
Fair.
I
fair.
think they're stuck. Brina, I bet you're not. How do you phrase it? I bet you're not metal enough to put your hand on the fucking obsidian.
I think that
I guess I'm not gonna have to cast it.
Oh,
think-
with Alexa, also, we could finally figure out who that Isgaren rock
you're
star.
bullshitting me.
Oh, really? Are we gonna play
Oh
that
my-
game?
We'll just have to
17 and
long con this
22.
one.
Yeah, what
While
if you and I
they're
interplane our
arguing-
travel later to the ethereal planes?
Over who's gonna do this? I'm just gonna go slap it.
And this is
But
why you always
I'm,
get taller.
I'm taller than a human, so I'm gonna do like my arm. I'm not gonna put my palm on it.
What?
That's more
Oh, that's
sensitive.
smart. Yeah.
Did they do it like how middle school boys hit the top of door frames before they walk in a room?
I
Middle
mean,
school
what
boys.
do you feel? I
feel
did that yesterday.
personally attacked.
I do that all the time.
That's what I fucking said. Tell me I'm wrong.
Wow,
Probably take
rude.
5
Okay.
piercing damage.
You know what? I'll uncanny dodge it.
Hell yeah.
Do that.
I would
No.
say this is not damage we can
All right.
dodge. It's intentionally inflicted.
It's more of a glancing blow, really.
Yeah, but
Oh,
as you guys
shit.
listen, Kala goes over and just elbow bumps the thing. The fresh trickle of blood.
Well, that was fun.
forms again.
We should probably head back now.
Yes, we don't need to do that again.
No, but I mean, we should come back to this plane. Just right? Yeah.
We'll have to. Yeah, I'll work with Colinar to figure out how
Yeah,
to
we'll-
make a fork with it.
We'll do like a little fun study group thing with Colinar. We'll do some. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Anyways,
Yeah. Let's
We'll
walk back
prance
through
back
before
through
it
the door.
closes. That was super cool. We could see and hear all of you, and could walk through walls and go up and down.
through
It's
walls.
very fascinating.
Sounds a lot.
Brina, I mean, you've
our
got like
current
30 seconds
situation,
left if you want
mainly.
to check it out.
I'm okay. I'm not fucked with the ghosts.
What do you think we are ghosts?
I mean,
We
we're not
couldn't-
dead
we
yet.
could- Yes, we couldn't see you. That's like 90% of the ghost stuff.
Wonder what the elementals look like on the ethereal thing.
Well, fuck,
What
then
if
we have
they're
to go back
really
through.
just the people?
I wonder if you can see their souls.
God, that's so interesting.
I'll just
Okay,
cast
we should
True
do
Seeing
that.
next time.
It's a good point.
What are we doing?
Oh, I still need to look at that armor, but first I need to finish bandaging my hand. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, you should have done that.
Pretty fucking ragged.
Did that a lot.
Oh,
That's
it's
I mean,
really
you could have done
gnarly.
the other hand once, or I don't. You know.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I've had any of the cauldron stuff. I don't think I have any of it.
No, I don't
think
think you
it's
did.
tendons in your
Hmm.
So I'll go drink some of the cauldron stuff and see if that helps heal my hand.
Yeah, I can't heal stupid. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's like 8d4 plus 8, so that,
Yeah.
that heals all of it.
No worries,
We-
Bertie. Didn't need you.
Try it
Staying
again.
here tonight.
Probably
Any
for the
chance?
best.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, like, I think between Alexa and myself, and then if Bertie puts on his, and Kitri, we could easily transport everybody down, and you've got your levitate thing, but I don't see why not to stay here. You know, aside from, like, the creepy sex dungeon / murder rooms.
Well, I mean, we could go. If we're staying on the floaty island, we could go stay in the manor.
He did say the manor
Wow.
rooms were very nice.
You said they already made them up for us.
Granted, he was also trying to, like, seduce us into staying
You
and
guys were
probably
like
killing
super
us. So.
excited to sleep there, so
It'd be kind of
Now we
ironic
can
if
have
we
an
went ahead
actually
and did
fun
it.
sleepover.
I mean, I
You
bet
know-
the rooms are nice, to be fair. Like,
Yeah, he seemed like a man with style. I mean,
no chance we're
albeit
getting
evil.
to LA tonight. That's not possible.
I think
Got
Alexa and I are
plans,
both
Colin?
spent.
If LA was in a different plane of existence.
Oh, unless we went through that plane and then Alexa could teleport
If
us
we-
to LA.
Oh,
If-
fuck. Well,
Oh
yes.
wait, never mind.
That's a good
technically-
thing.
Say,
Yeah, Kala, if you really do,
Yeah.
we can go in there and do it. Not it.
I just feel like it's
It-
weird to leave like Franz and Isabel and the old
Yeah.
lady in.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
no,
in the
they're
hands of
stuck in
Colin
LA
now,
for the
though.
night.
it'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah, like they're going to be in LA regardless. I mean, all we could do is go and
I
put more
rub it in
people
their
on
face.
us.
I hate to be this guy, but this is still our vacation. You know, I'm not trying to like do the back and forth, and you know, they're gonna be fine. They're on their own little vacation.
I feel like it's
I say we-
weird and awkward.
We
TBH.
frankly have had a
Not good.
I
rough
hope they find
day.
themselves in the city. You know?
Oh, but Muriel's going. Who's going to make us delicious baked goods?
You?
Oh, that's right. I can. That's true. I forgot. I don't do it very often anymore. It's mostly just magic.
Oh, I thought I meant the magic, but I mean. if
Oh,
you've
yeah. I
done
mean,
that-
I can also cook, but yeah, I could just use magic too. Yeah, but we could also finish exploring because I still need to do that armor. Bertie needs to finish up with his ring.
Yeah.
And then we get drunk and have a party. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
We got dwarf wine.
Yeah, we've only got this place for like 1 or 2 nights before people start asking questions, and you know, like,
Oh,
let's,
you
Our
know-
Airbnb will be up.
let's throw a fucking rager. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
let's
true.
do it.
Holy
We could
shit.
also
What
make
if we
ourselves look like
invite
Darren Hoff if
people
we need to
up?
maintain the image.
That might
Or is
cause
Garen.
some suspicion,
Yeah.
Alexa, if we
That
invite
might not be a
people up.
great idea.
Well, if we invite them up and then they disappear, nobody would ever know anything else went wrong. They would just think it's still
See?
scary.
We know how to make
Like-
the elementals.
I don't think we.
Well,
should
let's
stay
not
here
do that.
today.
Okay.
Just get drunk.
Yeah, let's just finish our attuning and whatnot and then go get drunk. Oh wait, how do we open the door to the tower? Do we know how to do that ourselves?
I've got this ring now, so it can't hurt, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, but like if we all leave the tower, do we know how to get back into the tower?
I've got this ring.
Allah has the magic word.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Okay, Kala
yeah,
can remember
yeah.
the magic word. Cool. Okay. Then I guess while we're still here, can I go ahead and since Barry's gonna finish tuning that ring, go ahead and figure out what the armor does? Well, he does that.
Yes, and
I know we gotta hop off here soon.
Yeah, we'll call it here.
Yeah,
The armor.
Mhm.
So just real quick for my benefit, what is the plan right now? You're gonna do this thing and then go
I-
back to Garenhof?
I think we're
Or-
hanging out in the
I think we're staying in the not in the
In-
tower, but in the
manor
mansion.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the mansion.
Paula's still trying to convince him to go back to LA, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, if
Only if
we
you want
want
to
to go
put your
back to
paw on the
LA,
thing again.
right? We have to
Oh,
go
if
in the ethereal realm.
you've got plans in LA,
It's
you
just
can just
super
say you've got
rude
plans, you know?
to dump 3 house guests on somebody that doesn't even like to have house guests, and then we already had a naked high guy show up at his house. I mean, it's
I
just.
see.
Yeah, I did do that.
Well,
I
let's
So,
go
took the
back.
bad. But
I'm just saying,
also,
our vacation is kind of.
Kolinar is very kind, and he does know we rescued those people now from, a monster. So I feel like he would be okay with helping save lives.
Plus, like,
I'll go back with
Yeah.
you, Kala. We can go back.
They're refugees, Like,
Also, honestly, he's probably just gonna like give them some food, put them to bed, and then go back into his extra planar dimension to work on.
I don't know. It's like
magic.
traumatized people that. Like,
he'll charm them. It puts them down for a good hour.
Yeah, we really need to get that guy another simulacrum.
fucking horrible. Can we ask and level with me because I don't know how magic works. Can we ask Kolinar to come here, and then he jump back, or hell, he hang out in
I
the
don't know if he
corner?
could do. I mean, he's been here. He could maybe.
If he knows how to teleport, he could. Assuming
he
the
can
tower's
come
not
to the
boarded.
party.
He
That's
comes
great.
to the manor, he brings the gals, and
So
finally,
for the sake of brevity,
Yeah.
I will say that given enough time, you identify because these are pretty cool. You
The armors?
Yes. Well, one of them is anyway. The one with the crest. Between Galatar's knowledge and Birdie, you recognize the crest as the symbol of King Roderick of Crichton,
Oh,
which was the king that hired Garen the wizard to help design the orrery and the high garden.
Yeah, okay.
And it is just a +1 breastplate.
Okay.
The other, it feels strange beneath your fingers. The leather's almost like unusually warm to the touch. And as you identify it, the information is presented to you that it is actually cured hide from a flame djinn, an Ifriti. It is Ifriti hide armor.
Ooh, what does that do?
It is medium armor.
Ah, damn.
It is +3.
Ooh.
While wearing it, you have resistance to fire. You speak and understand primordial, specifically Ignan, the flame language. And you can walk on lava as though it were solid.
true, the floor is not lava.
Sorry, what was the last
floor.
thing you can do?
You can walk on lava as though it were solid.
It's super cool.
As
Who among us can wear medium armor?
Nope.
I cannot.
Can, but it's not like super my thing.
Alright, this is Ifriti leather armor.
3T leather armor. Well, this would so this armor would be extra enhanced compared to regular armor.
So let me actually read the item that I made. So while wearing this dark red leather armor, you gain +2 to your AC. You have resistance to fire damage. You understand and speak Ignan, and you can stand and walk unharmed across molten rock as if it were solid ground.
That's metal as fuck.
medium armor.
Yeah, medium armor. Also, how do you spell a freebie?
Let me check this. This says leather. Efreeti is Efreeti.
Oh, it says it's light armor.
Yeah, so I think I made this leather instead of hide.
Oh, okay. So this is light armor, or
I believe it is.
oh,
Oh shoot.
that would be a huge. My AC would be through the roof.
Mine would be higher than 15.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be
That's
wild.
What's that like?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's it like to not get hit on a turn? No.
well, it's kind of nice, but also people are constantly trying to hit me, so extra defense doesn't help, or it does help. My hit points are still.
Too beautiful to get hit, so I actually don't need any armor.
I mean, if nobody would mind, this would be super helpful, I think. Would
I wear
basically
light armor.
keep me up.
What is your AC?
Mine?
Yeah.
Base is 14, and then between my mage armor, which I wouldn't be wearing anymore, so this would essentially replace my mage armor and give me an extra +1. I think that's how that works, right? Because I wouldn't have my mage armor anymore, so this would boost me up to. With this armor, my AC would be at 18, I believe. But you're also invisible now, right? Because you've got the cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you know.
that's the thing is it's leather armor. It's not studded leather, so it's like a like
So-
11, 12, 13.
So it's-
yeah, it's functionally like mage armor. It makes
Yeah.
your AC 13 plus your dex.
Cool. So I would just save the mage armor, and then I'd have like the extra resistances. I see. Got you. If I wore it. Okay.
Yeah, that would just make my armor 18. One more.
Just... Yeah. 11, 13. Yeah, so it wouldn't change my armor class at all. It just gives the other things. So it is not particularly helpful to me.
Yeah.
Maybe this would be good for you, Bertie. If you wear light armor.
Is it
Or
another
Alexa, what
attunement?
do you wear?
Oh no,
It
I
is
think-
Yeah, I assume
it
it
does
requires
require
it to.
attunement. It's a legendary item.
For sure.
Oh, it's a legendary. Oh,
It's a legendary armor, yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah,
No,
I
don't-
was originally
I have
reading
no
notes
armor
for a
proficiencies.
3D hide, which is a +3 medium, and that's not what this is.
I might. That's a tricky one. I might be able to use that. Actually, I would have to get rid of my Cape of the Dandy, but that actually might be worth it. It's like the extra 10 hit points.
I guess. That Kid of the Dandy, though, has saved your ass on more than once, especially when you like are going to take a big hit.
Well, because if somebody tries to hit me, they're gonna hit.
Well, yeah, because even with this, like, you're still going to be pretty hittable.
I mean, 17, a 15.
Yeah, better than where you are. It's just I don't know if it's worth the.
What I don't
Cape
like
of the
about the
Dandy.
Cape of the Dandy is you lose your next turn if you
Sure.
use that thing. And at this point, I got some healing stuff that I really shouldn't have to do that. I don't know. I'll keep it around. I might take that.
I will say that as you guys do this and you leave the tower and return to the mansion, which is now
Yes.
a ghost town, you find standing in the hallway, kind of leaned up against one of the walls, Colin Townsend.
Oh, fucking called it.
Oh, hey.
He's just, ah, there you are. I was wondering if you were going to leave the tower soon.
I'll
trust
tell you.
everything is all right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it
thought
went
this
pretty
might
well.
be easier.
It is much easier. They were just gonna leave you there with those people for like 3 days.
Wow, what a rat!
One night.
Literally one night. Don't try and throw us under
I
the
feel like
bus.
I've been hit by
I
some sort
heard
of bus.
2, maybe 3. I don't know.
Saying
No,
that
what?
you call her different.
You're a
Technically,
horrible
I
liar.
still am there with them.
Oh.
They're in my tower, as am I.
But-
This is just a seeming that I
Oh.
have sent.
Okay, seriously, you're the coolest wizard ever. That's super impressive.
I have my tricks. I tried to return, but this place seems to be warded against teleportation magic.
Ah,
I saw some abjuration on the wall, but when the
That would make
demi-plane
sense.
worked, I wasn't sure.
I've been inspecting it while you were occupied. It's highly fortified. It's quite impressive, actually.
yeah, there's tons of. I mean, if you're able to do the seeming for a while, there's tons of cool shit we could tell you about.
Some real weird stuff.
There's
in the
literally
tower.
a.
By
Yeah,
all means, I'm happy to sit for as long as you care to talk. I believe the others, Master Fritz and Lady Isabel, they are sleeping it off.
Yeah. See, everybody needs some rest.
Bertie did say his charm really takes a toll.
Find something to refresh yourselves. I can't partake as I am, but happy to listen. we'll say he heads you down towards the kitchens and the dining room to find some entertainment.
Cool.
And we'll call it there.
Sounds
We'll
good.
pick back up with a conversation with Kolinar.
Yeah. Dang.
Convo with Collie.
I did.
Convo with Collie. I like it.
Sometimes he's Collie in my notes. Isn't it Kolinar?
Kolinar.
Yeah. So sometimes he's Koli.
I think sometimes I put an H in his name after the K. Because
Oh,
there's a
does
city
kinda
in
sound
one
like
of the
it.
Brandon
I like it.
Sanderson
I like
books
that
called
H. He's a
Kolinar.
wizard.
Khollinar. Yeah.
That's my ship name for
Kolinar is
college,
the capital
Kolinar.
of
It's
the
different.
main empire in
Kolinar.
Brandon
Usually.
Sanderson's Stormlight Archive series.